Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go.
Hey guys, welcome to the live. Sorry for the little extra wait time there. Oh my goodness, what day is it today? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? I think so. I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. Anyways, I lose track of my days. I really do. Anyways, thank you guys for joining in the live, of course. We're going to talk about Claire Bell as well as Jack and Lily, of course. And yeah, so trying to scroll back up to where people started coming in. Hi, Damien. How are you? Hi, Henry. Hi, Takuma. Takuma. Reminds me of my tacos I had again today. Hi, Mark. How are you? Daniel's recent interview. Mark, is that the one from yesterday? Is that the one from yesterday? Let's see. I'd have to scroll back up here. Let me just see if it is. Disappearance of Lily and Jack. Yeah, I think that's one from yesterday. On there. Just checking. Because we saw Belinda's come out, of course. On there. Hi, Lily. How are you? Hi, Jan. My heart breaks for Belinda. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll get into that in just a little bit here, of course. Yeah, I know. Jan Mendes also. I seen her full interview today, and it just broke my heart to pieces. Absolutely. You just can't help but tear up, because Belinda's been so amazing to be a voice for Jack and Lily and to this channel. And so, what do you say? I left her a message, of course, because what do you say, right? This is such a tragic, horrific thing that Belinda and all family members that are wondering what happened to Jack and Lily. But these are somebody's grandbabies. You guys saw how much when I was doing my reading. You talk about my son, and no matter what, at some point, some tears are going to well up. Just because of the pain and the hurt. But my son is fine. 1 second here. Come in, husband. 1 second. Sorry about that. Husband just made me some grilled cheese sandwich. I'm sure it will get cold before I eat it, but whatever. Anyways, oh, me too. When I was thinking about her case yesterday, in my heart, I kind of felt like she was okay. Like that she didn't do anything to the daughter because she was charged for abandonment. But kind of what really, truly made me feel is because, well, I forgot about that part about the urns she was searching, to be honest with you. But it was because they said that she looked like she had wounds on her legs that came out of the woods. And that's when I was like, oh, okay. So I think we all are. Beautiful child right in front of you here, Clarabelle. Her mom obviously has some cuckoo things going on in the head over there. Um, and I guess they had a press conference here as well. Kept trying to find it. If anyone has the actual link for the press conference for Clarabelle, can you send it to me at Crime and Shame? Or unless you have me on Messenger at crimeandshame@gmail.com. Because I was trying to Google it. That's why I was running late because I just kept going. I saw that Clutches and Pearls Justin had it up or was watching it or whatever. And I'm like, how is this hard? How is this hard, people? Should just type in press conference Clarabelle and it should just come up. But no, 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 no. Never that easy. Anyways, thank you guys all for being here. Hi, nurse. How are you? Um, yes, hallelujah. Just, you know, I'm so glad that sometimes there is a better ending to these stories. They're rare, but it is really nice when we hear that. And so, yeah, I'm sure, it's just, true crime is just a lot of hurt and sadness. That's all it is. There's nothing usually good about it. In this case, I mean, we're so grateful that this young, beautiful child is alive. But I mean, this child's life is going to be flipped upside down here, because of her mom's actions and stuff like that. Which is, obviously not such a good thing for the child either. She was charged with child abandonment. Hi there, Charmaine. Hey, Charmaine. She'll be on in just a little bit, guys, as well. She's just driving and picking up Ian there. He is the one claiming the DNA. Oh, that's the cousin or the grandmother's cousin on there. I think he's a little bit off with his time there. I'm pretty sure Belinda knows when Malaya, obviously, and Cody separated, and she said that she went over to the house. So I don't believe that it's that long. I believe that he was off on that part of the information about that 4.5 years. Hi, Joe. How are you? Everyone who voted that Daniel and Malaya are both lying is correct. Okay, let's see here. Hi, Carol. Hi, Maltese Cross. Rough. Hi, Audrey. How are you? Donna Williams. Nice to see you. Jesus is in the house. Heather. Susie Little. I don't usually interact on that channel. Today I said caller, better inform RCMP. He said Malaya running to res. His extended family have the kids. I just don't want it to be BS. Nurse, is that on what is that on Dolly's channel? Somebody called in or something? Um, Hi, Rhonda. How are you? Hi, Denise. I believe they both know what happened. La 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 bumba. Do, 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 do. Hi, Kimmer. How are you? Just kind of going down. Yes, dear, that's worse than the Titanic. Wow, did they ever tanked? Shoot, I wasn't even sure what. Relative. Oh, that relative called. Kimmer, do you know what timestamp about that was? Can somebody tell me the timestamp? Because I was working and then I had some groceries come. And so I just really haven't had time. I was trying to listen to it. Somebody else said it to me too, but all they did was like send me a thing saying like that someone's talking to Dolly, so I kind of went over there, but then they sent the link, but it was already a link that I was watching, but I just didn't have time really to go through it. So if anyone knows the timestamp of that on Dolly, I would love to play that. Hi, Scotia. How are you? Hi, Sandy. Just wondering if you received my emails from initials KO. Um, no. Oh, KO. Um, so yeah, this morning AM, I suppose. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like I've kind of clicked on emails, but I really haven't had time to look at them. A couple, but that's about it. Um, but I think that those are just links for ones we've already shown, I think, right? Am I right? I think so. Have you tried the grilled cheese with tomato? Oh yeah, of course. grilled cheese with tomato and ham, whatever. But okay, pork pork walk, pork walk, pork walk. Um, I don't believe the relative of Malaya at all because they claim that they lived together for years when they haven't. See, there you go. It's a weird mistake to make, and it sounded like he caught himself. At the end of the day, any information from a family member is still, interesting to hear regardless. And then it's just really up to us to decipher what we deem as shit and, throw it to the trash pile or what we believe is, something that's more relevant to it is how I always see that. As long as it's coming out of the family's mouths, it's every little bit of information, whether you deem it as factual or not, is still a little bit of extra information for sure. Uh, did a jasmine rice stuffed meatloaf differ dinner? Don't be hating. I won't be hating. Good evening, all. Okay. Hi, Alicia. How are you? Yeah, that was you. Yeah, you sent me the link today. But you sent me the link, but there was no timestamp on there, Alicia. So if ever you do send me that, because it's like reading a cryptic message that comes in going, someone talking Dolly, and I'm sitting there at work, and I'm like, wait, yeah, okay, is that today? Are you telling me about yesterday? I wasn't sure, and then you sent me the actual thing or whatever. But if you don't mind, just because it saves me a ton of time, just if you could give me about the approximate timestamp, if you ever send me an email with regards to that again, I'd appreciate that. It truly does, you guys. It really does help me out. Like when people send me stuff and stuff like that, videos, and even if it's repetitive and stuff like that, someone doesn't know that somebody else might have sent it to me and stuff. But it really does help out and stuff like that. So timestamps. If you're ever watching a video and you want me to watch a certain timestamp, just put the timestamp down that you're watching it at. Appreciate that. Why both the same story if you're not hiding something? Daniel changed the story again. Yeah, yeah, I'm still waiting for Ian. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. I don't even know who that troll is, actually, to be honest with you. Hi, Chris Dawson. How are you? Watched a video on YouTube this morning, Tarot Card Reader. She said Claire was. Yeah, so I'm very picky about the people that I do watch with that because there's just a ton of shit card readers out there. I only pick the ones that I vibe with, to be honest with you. I know that, for instance, oh, somebody did a super chat. I'll come to that in just a second. Um, like Kent watches someone, um, a certain tarot card reader, you know. Um, to be honest, there's only a handful of ones that I actually do watch because honestly, it's really hard to pick out the cuckoo clocks between the ones that actually can have more, common sense. There's too many cracker jacks out there when it comes to that stuff, So for me, it's like my last go to that I usually do is that because it's just like I said, there's a few that I've liked over the years, you know just because I know that there's are people that really truly are good at what they do. I bet there's a lot of shit ones. There's more shit ones than there are good ones. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I could freaking pull out my deck of tarot cards right now and start acting like, here, let me just, put meaning behind some of these. Anyways, Sunny, timestamp, a 2 hour mark. Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Claire's found alive. Absolutely. Um, Again, prayers, it's just nice to know that out of a lot of people that usually have tragic events to situations, that Claire was found alive. You know, like I said, it's like in my gut instinct. I wanted to say that yesterday because I wasn't really feeling it when they said that she was only charged with abandonment, but it was that whole woods thing. And I was like, well, that's not good. So I'm just so glad that it turned out, um, you know, that I'm just trying to understand how a drone found her. Like, so you're telling me that a drone and no vehicles stopped I don't know. I'd have to actually know what was going on here exactly, but all I'm thinking in my head is how did a drone find this child and cars didn't drive by and go, oh, I don't know, little 4-year old on the side of the street or 3-year old on the side of the street. I'm going to have to figure that one out because that one just blows me away. So I don't know the answers at the moment on there. Chris Dawson, thank you so much. Ooh, UK. Mm-hmm. Is that the United Kingdom over there? Da-da-da. Thank you so much for that, Chris Dawson. Appreciate that. Jan, would I be wrong in thinking the RCMP already know what this cousin who is talking DV is saying? Just letting or not letting them know? Oh, yeah. Come on now. You can tell that that cousin guy, like that, he's already called in his information. You know, damn right. Because he's one of those ones that's sitting on his little antsy pants there. And he's going, so if he's talking the way he was to Dolly in the sense of, we need this to happen and that to happen and this and stuff like that, right? And you can tell he was kind of getting feisty. Like if family doesn't, start talking type of thing, I'm not going to be caring if, some of them start disowning me. So his ass called into the RCMP for sure. Mm-hmm. Hi, Riles. Companies start putting more pressure on the parents. One of them was split eventually. Oh, I'm sure that there is. Would I be wrong? Oh, we already said that one actually. Okay. Yeah, bologna sandwiches are really good with ketchup. Yum. You been watching Dolly today? Because someone gave him a super sticker for bologna Sammy's. I don't like bologna, by the way. I love ketchup, but I don't like bologna. No, I do not go out of my way to have bologna. Probably because when I was younger, when my mom left my dad, we were just poor ass. And so we had to have always like craft dinner. And I still have craft dinner, but bologna and Spam, no, just even saying it, to be honest with you, not a bologna person at all. Full of bologna sometimes. No, just kidding. When am I wrong? No, just kidding. Thank you so much, Kimmer. Claire Bell is alive. Absolutely. Okay. I'm probably way behind. Hi, Audrey. I cannot believe 3-year-old can survive. That a 3-year-old can survive 4 days in the wood. La 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 la. I'm not really sure what you're talking about there, to be honest with you. 3-year-old in front of us wasn't in the woods for 4 days. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Audrey, to be honest with you. I summoned the Dark Lords from the abyss for my info. Sounds like you're playing RuneScape or something like that. Well, you're like a gamer. How did you get all the way to Ontario? Did the mom drop her out in the middle of nowhere in Ontario? Honestly, don't know. It's if I'm not mistaken, like the area where the mom said she was missing from is the area I believe that she was kind of found in that whatever it's called, something Albert or whatever like that. A troll found her because he was in part of looking for her. Okay, let's see. Hi, Mama Angie. She wasn't right on the road. She was over by the field. The mom told her to wait for her. Yeah. See, I'm just trying to catch up with that stuff. Yeah. Hi, Sasha. How are you? She would not been alive for another day. The way she came out of the bush in between two hideaways, and that poor little doggy. LOL. I was LOL Dolly. Okay, wait. Oh, there's Sharon Parker's in the house. Hey, Sharon. Okay, I'm just going to. Heather became a new member. Thank you, Heather. Is that the music didn't go off? You guys, a little. Let me. But StreamYards came up, right? Did StreamYards come up? Hold on. Sometimes StreamYards turns. Oh no, StreamYards did come on. But sometimes, just give me a sec. Come on, there we go. But sometimes it messes up. 1 second. I'll test my widgets. I'll just test the widget. Well, I'll do the super chat one. You're awesome. That was just a test super chat. This, it's all got messed up. I don't know how, because when somebody becomes a member, it plays Rickroll, right? But yet, when I play it on the test widget, it's something else. There you go. There you go. I desert you though. Just know that, okay, Chris? Yeah. But we still like the Rickroll song over here. Best curds in Canada from St. Albert. I used to get them fresh when I lived in Castleman. Anyways, you got. Oh, I need to save my thing here. I was like, I can't even see. Hold on a second here. Why does it not allow me to save this? On cancel, I suppose. Oh, see, now I see there's people in here. Now there's like 131. You guys, please, again, please hit that like and share. Please don't do it for the sake of the channel. Always do it for the missing and the murdered. And in this case, we're talking about Claire Bell, but she's been found alive, thankfully. But Jack and Lily are still missing. So please, anyone, please, come on. If you have a heart out there, Belinda's interview, come on now. Okay, that was enough to hit that like button if you could about 10 times, 100 times on there. Okay, so all right, let me just check my email for 1 sec. If anyone has that press conference for Claire Bell, that would be great if anyone could send me that. Charmaine, since you're driving, I guess Charmaine can't. Oh wait, hold on. I think Kent did it. Or is that Dolly's? Oh no, Ken sent me Dolly's. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, I got all these tabs open now. Anyways, okay, guys. Well, again, welcome to the live. Oh, that grilled cheese sandwich looks good. I'm gonna. It's getting cold though, guys. My grilled cheese. I see. I always have cold food because it never fails that my husband, because I work and then whatever, husband brings it to me while I'm doing a live on there. But anyways, okay. So you know what? I think what I'm gonna do is I think we're gonna do this first. I got like too many tabs open here. Which tab is it? Oh, I guess you guys Karen Reed was found not guilty today for anyone watching the Karen Reed trial. So she was only found guilty of like her drinking and driving 1 year probation stuff or whatever. But other than that, she was found not guilty. I wasn't really following that case. I know of it. I know what it's about. Not gonna lie, my heart of hearts for that one says that she truly did run him over. Yeah. If I was to go with my own gut feeling on that one, I think that Karen Reed was actually freaking guilty of that. Waiting, LO, can't paste links from here. Psst, psst. He's a troll, Charmaine. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find the. Oh, it's right here actually. Duh. Okay, so I'm gonna play this first. Steph had sent it to me last night. Right, just to give you again more little, mindset into what's her name? Rachel Todd, I think it is. Okay, so let's watch this. It's about 10 minutes, but it's like kind of like a compilation of her talking.
Claire Bell case out of Canada, the 3-year-old girl who has been missing since Sunday, June 15th. You're going to want to hear this. So her mother has been arrested for the abandonment of her child. And we found out that she was searching some pretty disturbing things on her phone prior to her daughter being reported missing. If you guys missed the updates, just click the comment and go throughout the video thread. What I did is I actually went through Rachel's videos on TikTok from start to most current, and I actually put some clips into a compilation that I'm going to play for you guys right now. This woman seemed extremely unwell, unstable. I don't know if she was manic, if she was suffering mentally with something, if she was in some sort of spiritual psychosis. I don't know, but she said that she joined TikTok to transmute her pain. And her TikTok page is just very questionable. I'm going to play these videos right now. Take a listen, you guys, and let me know your thoughts at the end.
I find myself haunted again. And it's twofold. It's inside and outside. So because I'm used to making decisions, obviously with, some logic, because pattern recognition is important. because that's how the universe communicates, but whatever. Anyways.
Been thinking a lot about the moon and the stars, and how it all seems to affect us all lately. I've recently decided to shed all societal expectations, which includes everything your parents, siblings, loved ones, every memory you've ever had, telling you who you should be. Since I'm so curious, sent me on this journey to understand a deeper commonality, something beyond psychology and emotions. Big update. The universe just opened a door and literally shoved me through it, and I took it. We were supposed to have a big family shindig on Sunday, on the 29th. And I woke up early with my daughter and spent the morning with her. And then I want to get stuff done with my day. So I try and wake up my husband. But that's like dealing with a teenager. I can't believe I didn't see it anyways. Around the same time, I realized where I find out that the family shindig has been canceled due to weather. Fascinating. Another Christmas mishap in that household. And by the third time I try and wake up my husband, I'm at the end of my rope. And shit blew up. And within a split second, I decided to pack my entire life and leave. Happy New Year. I feel like the world's biggest idiot. Can't seem to sleep. I have too much on my mind. Just been thinking about how I've spent my entire life diminishing my being, the convenience for everyone else, in fear of being too much or too intimidating or whatever. Just had another little breakdown. Around and around we go. It's a goddamn merry-go-round. Cycles are speeding up, so I'm thinking that I'm getting closer to breaking the subconscious wheel. It doesn't stop turning. I'm a little bit of a wreck. I just finished having lunch with my daughter and my ex-husband, trying to figure out an arrangement. Despite everything I have going on, separation, childcare schedules, work restructuring, financial restructuring, moving, you name it, my whole life turned on its side. Still feel them. Oh boy, really make a girl go crazy, because I don't know how much of it is real and how much of it is in my head, but the good news is whatever I'm feeling, it's softer now. So I just got back from seeing my therapist because in light of all my huge life changes, while it feels in line, my ego keeps trying to convince me that I've gone fucking nuts because it's unknown, it's unsafe, it's, for me, absolutely wild. So the good news is that I have not gone crazy, that I seem to be seeing things clearly. However, she did stress the importance of being vigilant of my mindset in this transitional phase, which I recognize because my old patterns love to sneak back. I finally figured out what the hell's up with this fundamental shift that I'm feeling. I think I've been feeling it for a while, but I've been resisting out of fear, frankly. Fear of losing control, I guess, because this shift is monumental. The universe pushed me so hard. I no longer have the physical capacity to allow anyone to demand more from me than I'm giving. I'm feeling so connected to the universe, and it's hard to put into words, obviously, but whatever's this planetary alignment is doing, or I don't know, just the synchronicities that I'm seeing in my life and the meaning behind it, it's just divine timing. I just officially quit my job. It's still happening. I know there's something to learn. It's just driving me bananas. As soon as I get into a good mood, I hear a name that should not be mentioned in my ether. Sometimes I just wish clean breaks existed. Navigating somebody else's hell, a great advantage. Something I won't be doing again, but it's given me the ability to manage my own hell. And when I say hell, I mean, the darkness that lives within us all. It's been a couple months I've been looking at apartments, and nothing has felt right. May have been a little bit of fear too, but whatever. It is what it is. I may not have been ready to make such a big life decision, but if I don't make the decision now, I'm going to have to wait another month, and I just don't want to. So I think I'm finally ready to share a big chunk of what I've learned. What is apparently called the divine journey. And I mean, there's an infinite amount of flavors. Everybody's is completely unique to their own situation, their own energy. But ultimately, it's the journey of rediscovering our independent wholeness, because we are reflections of the universe. We contain our own little universes inside. So I've officially gone nuts. And I am accepting it. I came across just an abundance of evidence pertaining to how much our energy fields actually do impact. And so more to come about all this, but balancing our own energies and understanding our own power as human beings is so vital. It's officially the last day of my old life. Good morning. I come to you this morning with fantastic news. It finally happened. I can confidently say that I've gone nuts. No matter what I do, I can't seem to squelch the fury that I feel. And I'm not used to having that. I don't know what to do with it. I hate the spirals of healing. Oh my God. I've been doing so well the last couple weeks. And today I had like a full-blown meltdown. All right. Well, after a year and a half of survival mode, 6 months of investigation, and an entire life burnt to the ground, my nervous system can finally feel safe with just existing again. So that's a relief. You try that again, and this is going to get ugly.
Comment and go throughout the video thread.
Okay. Oh my God, she took me for a mental health spin. I swear to God. Almost, are you guys okay after watching all that shit? Obviously, all jokes aside, obviously this woman has some definite mental health issues going on. I couldn't possibly diagnose what's going on through her head. Obviously, she said she just, tired of waking her husband up after 3 times, apparently. But obviously, she has issues, okay? Whatever you want to call it, whatever cluster you want to stick her in, this lady has issues. But, I mean, we all have issues, right? And maybe she is on a different plane, like someone like myself, and they say when you get older, especially cancers, have to watch their mental health issues, and I get it because when you said kind of like a higher plane in a sense, sometimes I always feel like who put me on this, this crappy world I'm because in my reality, like in my world, right? It's like my heart gets hurt so deeply by watching the world and the greed, and that's why I really hate it when I um, come across like false people and they're fakes and they're fraudulent, or people that hurt children and stuff like that, because it's kind of like in my bubble, it's like, no, 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 like we're all supposed to be, you know, being kind and helping each other. And when I watch this world around me, it makes me more turn into myself instead of being outward as much. I am still very outward, don't get me wrong here. But besides you guys as my family of YouTube, I like have acquaintances. I have like friends, acquaintances type of thing, but I don't like legit have like a friend that I hang out with or anything like that. Because honestly, after you get older, I just don't need anybody else's bullshit anymore. And I'm fine with that. I am, but I always myself have to always check myself all the time, like meaning, like I have a very, I'll put this way, I have a very smart brain. In our age, and most people that are of my age of 56, or I'm going to be 56 soon here, you know, we are taught to deal with problems. The younger generation, sadly, is not taught to deal with problems. Instead, they have all the problems in the world, it seems like. And you go, what the hell could you possibly have a problem at age like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20? So in my head, it's always like you deal with your issues, and then you go, okay, So I always like, if I feel like I'm ever feeling depressed or something like that, which I don't too often, but you know, I mean, as you get older and your body starts, your eyes start going and your, you know, boobs fall down to the ground almost and stuff like that. And your, whole lower anatomy starts going south on you and all that stuff. And you start getting health issues. Yeah, not gonna lie, kind of sucks. To be honest, to be 26 again. Swear to God. But anyways, so I always personally have to keep myself in check of stuff like that, because I, well, just simply I have to do that, and hopefully most people do that themselves, right? Use the brains, but some people need pills and medication. This lady needs something because she needs a really good therapist. And while she did say she was seeing her therapist, obviously that didn't work. But the fact is, the thing with her though is that she literally abandoned her child, and so that kind of takes it to a different level of like your daughter does not need to be in your hands at all, right? This daughter needs a safe place to be in, and that's what matters here. Okay, you're strong as fuck. When it comes to craft, my mental state is on point. Yeah, how old are you, Vanessa? How old are you? Are you around my age? Hmm. Do like, again, cancer, at least because I can only speak from my own experience, is like my care level is like it's more than most people's. I'll put it that way. It truly is. Because in life you go through life coming across certain people, and there's very few people that really have such a care level. And that's not being like anything to do with ego or anything. It's just that all my life it's always about doing for other people, over myself. And then at one point I had to learn that. But my heart just totally is like, some people kind of like they're sad, about somebody else's sadness and stuff like that. Mine is like way 10 feet down, and it's just like my pain hurts like super bad, right? So that's why I always have to check myself, meaning I know who I am and I know the people I've come across in life type of thing. And trust me, I am one of those little bit of exceptions to the rule. I go way out of my way, like even on a daily basis in my job today, I go way out of my way so that I can make a customer happy and I can do something special for them, right? Because they're having a rough day. Most people don't give a shit about other people's lives. A lot of people just don't. They care about their own lives. They're selfish, more self-centered and stuff like that, you know? But I've always spent my life trying to do something for other people, even amongst my own sadness. I don't care, you know, because I know that I can take care of myself, but sometimes people just need something. So that's for me. Like, I don't know how to explain that any better, to be honest with you. But that's why when I come across special friendships, you know, they mean a lot to me as well. And you guys can think whatever you want about your astro signs or your personalities, but you know if you're really, really, truly a deep carer, you know, and that it impacts you emotionally a lot because you hate other people's sadnesses and stuff like that. We coddle society, coping skills are lost. Um, well, absolutely. I never tell my age, but I'm old. All right. Hi, JC. How are you? Okay, so let's we're gonna just watch the one video. We're still on Claire Bell, by the way, you guys. Okay, and then we'll get into Jack and Lily and all that stuff. But this is important as well because this is truly one of those little miracles that happen where you think mostly that this child, something has happened bad to this child because it just didn't make sense. But thankfully, this child was found by a drone, and so. And we'll watch the press conference. So, Damien, thanks for sending me that. But we'll watch this here quickly first.
Since Sunday afternoon. So, she was located by a drone of the Ontario Provincial Police, our partners that did join the search today because of a lead that we received that the little girl and the suspect has been observed in Ontario Sunday afternoon. So because of that, we asked our partners to do some search, and they've been able to locate the young girl on the side of the highway 417. So she was speaking with the police officer. She was alive. We provided some first aid in water and food for now, and she's been taken care by the paramedics. So the priority is just to make sure she is okay. How is she healthy? And so that's the priority. And I know you all have a lot of questions about how is this possible, or how has she been discovered? Where has she been? I have the same questions myself, but all I can tell you right now is we're happy that she's alive. It's the best scenario possible. We were today feeling that we were advancing, and we had some leads, new leads, and so that's the best scenario possible. The authorities of SQ and OPP are going to do a press conference later tonight, and I hope you're going to get some more information and details. I know the population wants to know more. I want to thank them. Thank to everybody who help us giving information, watching at their video cameras. The population has been really supportful. Everywhere we were going, people were telling us, I saw something, how can I help? What's the phone number to call you guys? So thanks to everybody that did participate. I want to thank the public and also the media, because you all always are good with your cooperation, and you relay our messages. So thank you so much.
So she was all alone?
She was alone when she was found. Yes. Alive speaking. So yeah, we could not wish more, and the time was running. I mean, it's the fourth day of the search. So it's been long. It's been hard for everybody, but we always knew we were doing that to find her as quickly as possible, and find her because she also has a family, relatives who were really worried. So it's a good conclusion. The investigation will still be ongoing, and I think you can address the further questions at the press conference tonight.
Can you just tell us where she is now?
In hospital somewhere. I don't know which one, but that was the plan. Paramedics, hospital. Just as a priority. I mean, she's been outside for a couple of days, probably. So
Goodness. Oh, so that's what. Okay, my bad. My bad to the person that made a comment earlier that said 3 years old in 4 days. Right, that happened on Sunday, wasn't it? Today's like Wednesday. Okay, for some reason I had it in my head that it was yesterday. Lordy. Sound sounds like the mom uh to me is bipolar. Could be. I don't know what cluster she's in, but she's a hell of a fucked up is what she is. She needs some definite help, you know. And this child, thankfully, by the grace of God, this child is alive. Just, unfortunately not the dog. Doggy's up in doggy heaven there. But yeah. Okay, so then there was one other quick one now that I wanted to say that. And again, we'll be discussing Jack and Lily. Don't you worry, we'll get there. But I want to go over this stuff first quickly. Let's see here. I think it was this one here. Let's just watch this one. Um,
After a desperate search that lasted 4 days, an outcome few expected, Quebec Provincial Police confirmed that a 3-year-old missing girl was found alive in St. Albert, Ontario. They say that Ontario Provincial Police spotted Claire Bell just off Highway 417. She was said to be walking by herself, dehydrated and weak, but unbelievably alive.
We were today feeling that we were advancing, and we had some leads, new leads, and so that's the best scenario possible.
Over the past 4 days, investigators scoured areas on and west of the island of Montreal. Then, a development. They announced they were looking for a woman who had spoken to the girl's mother Sunday, shortly before she was reported missing. They managed to find and speak to the woman who confirmed Claire and her mother were in the area, shortly before she was reported missing on Sunday.
Because of that, we asked our partners to do some search, and they've been able to locate the young girl on the side of the highway 417. So she was speaking with the police officer. She was alive.
The girl has been taken to hospital for further checkups. This all began on Sunday when the girl's mother showed up at a business in Coteau-du-Lac, west of Montreal, saying that her daughter was missing. Claire had last been seen Saturday in the Montreal neighborhood of La Salle. Earlier in the day, her mother was briefly back in court. Rachel Todd appeared in handcuffs. She is facing a charge of child abandonment. Her lawyer asked for the case to be delayed until Friday, when we expect a date for a bail hearing could be set. She will be back in court in person on June 20th. Meanwhile, the girl's father posted on social media thanking everyone involved and asking people to allow him and his family time with the girl.
okay. Okay, so that's good. So there's the father that will probably get the custody of this poor girl. Okay, so I do want to watch the press conference for this, you guys. And then after the press conference, then we'll move on to Jack and Lily, okay? Share screen. Facebook, again, thank you, Damien, for this. So let's see here. Try to, one sec, volume up. Okay. Hold on. Come on now. Okay.
Avoir un dénouement de ce type-là. À la fin d'une journée, je pense que ceux qui l'ont vu ont vu nos policiers, ont vu les gens qui étaient sur le terrain, les gens de l'OPP. On est extrêmement heureux du dénouement d'aujourd'hui. Évidemment, cette fin de recherche-là met fin à 4 journées de recherche intensive qui ont été menées par la Sûreté du Québec, mais aussi par les partenaires de l'OPP d'enquête qui ont travaillé. Et aussi, je tiens à remercier chaque dans le secteur de La Salle qui s'est malheureusement, as we started, Sûreté du Québec put every effort on the line to find the missing person. We're talking about first officers on the scene, emergency measures, investigators. We've had the horses team. We've had the communications officers. We had some people from volunteers that came in. And all the civil person that work for Sûreté du Québec. It's been an ongoing investigation. We've had up to 200 people working day and night to find this young girl. I want to thank everybody that's been working. I want to thank also everybody that followed us on social media. And of course, it's been, we've had more than 7 million people that saw our pages, and it's been a real treat to have all you guys follow us. And it's been because of you that we found them this morning. I want to put a special thanks to Montreal Police, Ontario Provincial Police that's been there ever since the start, Laval, Longueuil Police, and Gatineau Police. Now we've got to think about the young girl that's now in the hospital, and we've got to think about her health. I want to thank everybody and tell you that it is an ongoing investigation, so we won't be able to go within the investigation. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you, everyone, for attending. As I said before, I'm Acting Staff Sergeant Sean Cameron of the Ontario Provincial Police. We stand beside our partners from the Sûreté de Québec, sharing the best possible update. Earlier today, shortly after 2 p.m., members of the OPP Emergency Response Team located Claire near Highway 417 eastbound, east of the Castleman on-ramp, using a remotely piloted aerial system, similar to a drone. The missing 3-year-old from Montreal was found safe and has been assessed by medical personnel. This search proves that when a child goes missing, there are no inter-provincial boundaries. There is only one goal: to find them. As you can imagine, this search has weighed heavily on everyone, including members of the public who became deeply invested in the fate of this young child. This was a search where we knew, especially given her age, that every hour mattered. I can tell you that the officers would not have located the little girl without critical information from the public. It helped us focus our search efforts and redirect our resources. This is a prime example of how every tip, every piece of information can help lead us to a positive outcome. We deeply appreciate the public's support and vigilance. We want to extend our sincere thanks to all the police services involved in this coordinated effort: the Sûreté de Québec, Montreal Police Service, and OPP members from Hawkesbury, Russell County, and Stormont, Dundas, Glengarry detachments. Vital search support was also provided by our aviation unit, the K9 unit, and the emergency response team, and forensic identification services. As the investigation into the child's initial disappearance remains ongoing, we cannot provide further information. Thank you to everyone who played a part in finding Claire. For the last few days, officers and members of the community have held our breath and hoped while we searched. Now we exhale as one, knowing she is safe. Thank you.
Merci du monde de votre présence et ainsi que votre patience. Je suis le sergent intérimaire Éric Ranger de la Police provinciale de l'Ontario. Nous sommes aux côtés de nos partenaires de la Sûreté du Québec pour partager les toutes dernières informations disponibles. Un peu plus tôt aujourd'hui, peu après 14 heures, les membres de l'équipe d'intervention en cas d'urgence de la Police provinciale ont, au moyen d'un dispositif aérien télépiloté, un drone, repéré Claire près de l'autoroute 417 à l'est de la Bretelle, montant vers Castleman. La fillette de 3 ans portée disparue à Montréal a été retrouvée saine et sauve et a été examinée par une équipe médicale. Cette recherche prouve que lorsqu'un enfant est porté disparu, il n'y a pas de limite frontalière entre les provinces. Il n'y a qu'un objectif, celui de la retrouver. Comme vous pouvez l'imaginer, cette recherche a pesé de tout leur poids sur tout le monde, y compris les membres du public qui se sont investis à fond concernant le sort de cet enfant. Cela a été une recherche où nous avions, plus particulièrement en raison de son âge, que chaque heure comptait. Je peux vous dire que les agents et agentes n'auraient pas pu localiser la fillette sans les informations critiques fournies par le public. Ces informations nous ont permis de bien cerner nos recherches et de diriger nos ressources là où il fallait. Ceci est un bel exemple démontrant que chaque renseignement, chaque bribe d'information peut nous mener à un dénouement heureux. Nous apprécions vraiment le soutien et la vigilance du public. Nous voudrions exprimer nos sincères remerciements à tous les services de police qui ont participé à cet effort. La Sûreté du Québec, le Service de police de Montréal, et les membres de la police provinciale d'Ontario du département de Hawkesbury, du comté de Russell et des comtés agglomérés. Alors que l'enquête sur l'affaire de la disparition de Claire, maintenant...
Elle a été conduite au centre hospitalier. Elle va avoir les soins requis par son état de santé. Ceci étant dit, elle qui compte. Elle sera rencontrée éventuellement. Yeah, I'll try to do my best. Okay.
Was the girl found alone, and did she have food and water with her?
As for that part of the information, I would like for maybe one of my partners from OPP to answer.
All I can say is she was found alone. Yeah.
Was she wearing shoes, coat, hat?
She was wearing clothing. We don't want to comment on anything that could that is part of the investigation at this point.
Is she with family members now?
We won't comment on that at this point. Oui. Elle a été trouvée toute seule cet après-midi. On voudrait pas commenter sur les parties qui vont faire partie de l'investigation comme telle parce que j'ai pas de détails là-dessus. C'est de temps en temps on n'en voit pas beaucoup. Fait que c'est sûr que c'est des émotions qui nous montent nous aussi. On est I was just saying, gentleman asked, about how the officers would have reacted, how they were. What I said in French was that, it's one of the reasons we become police, right? Police officers is to have days like this. A lot of the days, there aren't great outcomes. And we are parents, us too, right? So to be able to find a youth that's been missing numerous days in this situation, it definitely would bring out emotions in almost all officers, right? So it's just
the chain of events. So you see her on this drone, and then somebody picks her up. Like, how did it unfold?
Yeah, the officers were searching that area, but I won't go into more detail than that at this point. Okay.
Stop that there because honestly, whenever it comes to this stuff, you guys, it's always the same generic answers. Can't do this. We can give you a little bit, but anything that they're really talking about, really, when they're doing an investigation, they just always give the typical answers. It's an ongoing investigation. Can't answer that. Bottom line is, at the end of the day, so grateful that this child was found alive, and that's what matters the most. As for the mother, she'll have to, reap her consequences, and as what she's done, right? Do the crime, you do the time. So, don't get me wrong. I mean, I feel badly for anyone that's struggling with mental health issues that badly. Myself, regardless. But the child is always, the victims are always the most important people here. As for the mother, whatever happens to her, what happened to her for exactly what she's done to this poor little child. And hopefully the child will be placed in the custody now of the father and, live hopefully a normal life. But poor thing on there. Yeah. So anyway, so bless the situation with Claire. Just so grateful that this child managed to, go throughout the last couple of days and was able to be found alive. So prayers. Okay. So now we're gonna, go on to Lily and Jack, of course. So I want to say, of course, that Lily and Jack had to stage there they are. May 2nd is when they disappeared. Magically, it just disappeared. And no word or nothing really besides, little driplets of information keep coming out again. This person, I guess, is calling into Dolly a couple times now. This would be the Malaya's grandmother's cousin to that side and stuff like that. And you guys know that Belinda had the longer interview. So again, thank you guys all for all the links and all the emails, even if I can't answer you guys back right away. So I just do want to say this. When people send me stuff, and because I purposely ever hurt somebody's feelings on purpose, just know that I get multiple emails, and I'm working, and then I do lives not too long after work, and I gotta get thumbnails ready, and stuff like that. And I try to look through it, but sometimes I get sent messages that are really long and stuff like that. At the time, usually nighttime, more or less is when I can maybe relax. But half the time lately, I've just been so exhausted, to be honest with you. And after a live, I typically just want to go plant my face in my pillow, and then I have to be up for like 5:30 in the morning. So please don't be offended. I haven't answered you back right away and stuff like that. Again, it's not just that you're the only person sending me stuff. It's multiple people are, whether it's through Messenger or emails and stuff like that. So just wanted to let you know that, okay? Okay, so drones never found Sebastian. Nope, they didn't. They did not. Well, Tracy, you are spirit on there. What's this? You don't say not right, but spirit it always is. I do personal readings. I have since I was 15, and alas, I too am old. We all make it there. I predicted I was gonna get older. Just saying. On there, but anyways, okay. So we're gonna watch the one of Belinda first. So please, you guys, if you haven't, there's 193 people watching right now. So please, for the sake of Jack and Lily and any of the missing and murdered, there's only 94 likes. Again, please don't do it for the channel. Please always do it for the victims. Okay, because it is important. You guys do make a difference. It's your little DNA on that like button that does matter, or hitting the share so that the case is. Now, this case, of course, is in Canada. I'm on the west coast side of Canada, same with Charmaine. This is happening on the east coast. 4 hours difference is the time zone for this. And again, it's just, this is on our side of the water, or whatever you want to say, the pond. And it's on, the North America, not the US side. So obviously, this case was covered really strong right at the beginning by US over the pond and Canada. But just like any case, it tapers off, right? Whenever there's not really any answers and the case starts to linger, that's exactly what happens. So it's, again, you guys. It's not just a channel. It's you guys that make the difference, right? A channel is only as good as its members or their subscribers or the viewers and stuff like that. Just kind of like a business. It's its customers. They didn't have customers and they had really crappy service. Well, then you're not really probably going to have a strong business. So it's the same thing that applies here. A case is only as good as people that can hit that like button and share, keep it out into the algorithm. So if you guys could hit that like button, that would be appreciated. So we're going to start off with Belinda. So I want to say again, we've been very grateful that Linda has spoken to me for quite a few weeks. Well, now since Jack and Lily have disappeared. A lot of times at first, people wanted to not really, it's almost like people didn't really want to take her information a little bit because too many people were accusing her son, the bio dad of Jack and Lily, of whatever. But you know what? She's remained resilient, strong, steadfast in her quest to find out what happened to Jack and Lily. She has been the strongest force to be reckoned with when it comes to Jack and Lily out there. And I mean, Daniel can claim whatever he wants. I don't, for Daniel's side, to me, he's the suspect still. So as for Belinda is a grieving grandmother that just wants to know where her little babies are. And she's offered up almost all the information. In fact, in this interview, I just want to say, so there's some things that I didn't quite know, but again, sometimes you don't think to ask, but anyways, so stuff that she had said about with regards to her son and stuff like that, she has said in this interview, right? So there was only a very little information, about her son, that she, we just never talked about, but she talked about it clearly in this interview coming up. So hopefully everyone knows, now that the bio dad, he's not being looked at. He's already, had his interviews and you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You guys might not agree with, you know, the father walking away from his children's lives in a sense. But you know what? Like I said, there's a lot of broken families out there, but people are so judgmental. Belinda is the grandmother. She's the one that's fighting, right, for it. So that's who I care about. I care about, you know, honoring Belinda in her quest for fighting for Jack and Lily, and the fact that she's just been very, again, she's been so giving with any information all for Jack and Lily. So that's who I'm asking you to hit that like and share button for, is for, you know, the actual family members that truly do miss Lily and Jack and want to have answers. And it's your guys' help, and, you know, help of channels that create the awareness, you know, because the news drops off rather quickly. So, because like in the States, right? Like I said, there was a ton of people covering this in the States, this case. But then again, when nothing's really happening, they go back to the other cases that are having news and stuff like that. So, with that being said, prayers to Jack and Lily. Obviously, first and foremost, we'll watch Linda's call her Linda Nelson, Belinda's interview here. So let's see here. I know I had the other one. Where did it go? Okay. No, that's not the one I want. This is the one I want. Okay, whoops. I gotta go into my share mode first, I suppose. Okay. All right. So this is, of course, Belinda. So again, just remember that there's always a person. So although Belinda has only ever talked through Messenger, you know, with me and stuff like that, but you know, this is the grandmother, and just putting her heart out there for Jack and Lily.
These babies are gone. My heart tells me that. I am the grandmother of Lily and Jack. I am the grandmother on the biological father's side. My son is Cody Sullivan. He's not in jail. He's never been out west. He does not have a criminal record. And right now he's living with me. He has been for 9 months.
How did you find out that Lily and Jack were missing?
The mom of my grandson called me. We were in town. She asked if I heard the news. She sent me the article that was on Facebook showing the kids missing. I couldn't call Malay yet, so I waited till we got home. And I called, well, I didn't call her, I texted her. And she told me that, yes, that the kids were missing, that they've been missing since this morning. I was in a state of panic, shock. But in the back of my mind, I kept saying, well, they'll find them. I mean, I'm assuming that they'd find them. So I told her, well, we'll head out first thing in the morning and help with the search. It was around between 3 and 3:30 in the morning. A couple of cop cars pull into the driveway. The lights wake me up that I'm a fairly light sleeper, so I see the cars pull in, so I knew what it was. So they come inside. They only stood in the kitchen. They wanted me to wake Cody up, and they wanted...
Hold on, what's going on in chat? What's rude? What did somebody say? What did somebody say? Are you talking about Mama Angie's comment? No, I guess not, because you said... What's going on in chat? Anyways, I don't know what it was that somebody said. Anyways, okay, well, if somebody's being rude, there's no need to be rude in here at all. Okay, so Sharon or whatever mods are in here. If someone's being totally disrespectful, look at ya, don't say comments. Sonny, look at ya, don't say comments. I'm not sure what you're saying, Alicia. Either way, don't be rude. If anyone's being rude, don't be disrespectful, please.
Wanted to know when was the last time he had seen the kids, and that they were just making sure that the kids weren't here. And then they left. So we showed up Saturday morning, me and my sister, and we met up with my daughter, and we started. Well, I asked Malaya, I said, Malaya, I said, you know your kids. Nobody knows their kids like their mom. Where do your kids normally go to play out in the yard? What direction do they usually like to explore? And she said, well, they always play up in the little woods right on the side. I said, well, okay. I said, we'll start from that point and we'll work our way out. We had spoken to a search and rescue, and we weren't allowed on the other side because that's where they were searching at the time. So we just started combing through the woods up through there. We were gone for a couple of hours. I'm yelling for Lily and Jack. We always call Jack Jackie boy. And yeah, that went on for a few hours, but those woods, I started to feel that I can't see them being in the woods. There's trees everywhere. You literally have to climb over trees, climb under bushes. It is really, really thick. We come back out, and I went in to see Malaya again. I assumed she was in shock. She was very, very non-emotional, very just flat, monotone. But Malaya's very soft-spoken anyway. That she's not usually excitable. I thought that's made her a really great mom. She was an excellent mom. She never raised her voice at the kids. That it was always, now Lily, what did mommy say? And I used to think, now if anybody's meant to be a mom, it was her. A part of me still feels that.
Why only a part of you still feels that? What do you mean?
After seeing the place, seeing the condition of the home, it was like the total opposite of what I knew of Malaya. She was always clean, very clean about herself, about the kids, about her home. This home looked more like a camp. Now, I don't know if it's from all the people that were there because I didn't show up till the day after, but it was very unkempt. I was pretty surprised.
I love you.
Lily is,
She was my little dream girl, that's the first granddaughter. And I loved that she had the brown hair and she had a space between her teeth, which I had when I was a kid. So yeah, she was our little princess. Jack was such a sober, serious little baby that he didn't like to smile. You could tickle him, and he would look at you ever so serious, like he was really studying you.
And so how long were your son and Malaya together?
3.5 years, I think it was, yeah. I thought they were the picture perfect family. Then Malaya started to tell me that they were having problems and she wasn't happy. She told me that she wasn't happy and she thinks she's going to leave. And I told her that we supported whatever she decides, that one good parent is way better than two broken ones.
And then how did that change your relationship with Lily and Jack?
I thought it was going to change, but it didn't. Yeah, it didn't change. Malaya, she was a sweetheart. Anytime we wanted to see the kids, she'd come by for a visit. She'd bring them by all the time. It was actually really, really good.
So when was the last time you saw the children?
A year and a half, almost. Really, it's about a year and 9 months.
How did you deal with that?
Really, to be honest, maybe I didn't deal good enough with it. I looked at the fact that when her and my son separated, my son walked away. He chose to walk away, that she wanted sole custody of the kids. So she petitioned the courts for sole custody, and when she did that, he said he was done.
Were you ever formally questioned?
Yes.
So then it's about a month after Lily and Jack are last seen that they come and formally question you.
So it's about 3 weeks. They question Cody for an hour and a half in the vehicle, and then they question me for 2 hours in the vehicle.
How did that feel to you?
I didn't mind. I mean, to me, I expected I'm the grandmother, so it wasn't a surprise to me. I'm assuming the sooner they do all that, I wish they would have done it sooner, that the sooner they can move on. So I didn't have a problem. My son was a little upset about it. He said they made him feel like he did something wrong, and he said he hadn't seen the kids in 3 years. So he was a little upset about it. That he said that they really come at him hard. They wanted to know what her favorite color was, and he said they were babies when I seen them last. He said she was just learning what she wanted to figure out to eat. I don't know what her color is. So yeah, he was pretty upset.
Have they ever talked to him again since then?
A couple of days ago, they had contact, and they told him that they weren't looking his way anymore, that everything was fine.
And have they ever given you any information?
No, it's always the same thing.
Which is what?
They've got everybody on it. They are looking at all avenues. They can't divulge any information that could compromise their investigation. It's the exact same words.
Why are you so sure they're not in the woods?
I have children. I have grandchildren. And I see what kids are like through the woods. There's no reason for any child to wander deep into the woods. There's just not. I think somebody hurt these kids. I think somebody hurt them.
Yes, Charmaine, I am.
You don't sound very hopeful.
No. Our last day searching on Monday and seeing the woods and seeing the searchers and everybody everywhere. There's no way those kids are in the woods. There is nothing more pure and innocent than a 6 and a 4-year-old. And they deserve so much better than what they got.
Okay, 1 second here. Oops, 1 second here. Gotta make it smaller. One second. Where's, just trying to find a certain spot here. There we go. Okay, we'll leave it at that for a second here. Okay, so yes, I have been reading chat. Derwood, let's see, there, Derwood. Okay, so Derwood, from what I've seen in chat, said that he was the one. So you've called into Dolly. You're the one that's calling into Dolly, Derwood. Now, what I can do if you want, Derwood, because again, it is about Jack and Lily, first and foremost, and will always be. For the victims are always the people that matter most, far before anything else. Belinda has been gracious enough to be talking with this channel. Daniel did once with Charmaine through Messenger. But if you're willing, if you would like to come up here, I can easily, you can email me at atcrimingshame@gmail.com. I can drop you the link in here and you can come join me. And you can talk about whatever you like. Obviously, again, if you're the one that's spoken to Dolly, I listened to you yesterday. I haven't listened to you today. So that opportunity, if you wish, to share with us, be more than willing to have you come up here. You don't have to turn your camera on. I don't have a call-in. Canada's a lot harder to do that stuff. I have to look into a lot deeper besides using Discord. Other than that, would you like to? How about this? I'll just see. I mean, it's up to Derwood, right? You know, all I can do is ask, and if he wants to, the whole thing is that when family's speaking, and brings more awareness to the case, you know, that's what really gets cases more attention to them, especially when they're fading off. We know that in the USA, everyone was picking up this case. We know that that's a lot faded off for the most part. We pretty much cover it all the time. So, so Derwood, I'm just a straight up person. So would you like to come up here and chat? You seem like you, you know, are getting restless yourself. Again, if you're the person that's speaking on Dolly, and you're getting frustrated as well. And bottom line is, something happened to Jack and Lily. And let me just put it this way, they didn't get lost in no woods. And the chances of them getting picked up by a stranger is very unlikely in this situation. Personally, most of us will see lies. There's lies going on here. Someone or some people, whatever, aren't telling the truth. Simple as that. Okay, well, don't think she's hiding. I said I was going to act. I think she panicked. So again, if you don't have to come on camera or nothing. But if you want to come sit up here, you can just leave your camera off and have only your voice coming out. Did you wish to do that? We are all ears. That's all we want. That's all we want. You know, is just the best information is from family. It gives more insight into what happened there that day. RCMP, no matter what, they will be tight-lipped, right? So the best information that comes out is from the family members to what exactly possibly happened there that day. So, okay, tell me how again. Okay, no problem. So I'll drop a link, okay? And basically you follow that link in. There's an option there where you can have your camera off or on. But the only thing that I ask is that when you do come into the back room, nobody sees you but me. I just need you to show me that you're that you're an actual person and not someone that, because there's trolls, okay? I don't usually like to drop a link in public for that reason. Again, just straight shooters. So if you want to come up, would love to have you. So I will drop this link, okay? And you just follow it through. And again, you'll have the options there. You'll see where it shows no camera. So don't worry about that part. Okay, I just need you to turn it on for me. You'll be able to hear my voice. Okay, so I'm going to drop the link for that. If anybody else tries to use that link besides Derwood, I will not accept it. Okay, so nobody else even try. Okay, and so, okay, so with that being said, again, Derwood, love to have you up here. Speak your mind, speak your piece, whatever you wish to share. Other than that, we're going to play the other video right now, the one from yesterday. Let's see. I have it all lined up. Why does it seem like I'm losing? Oh, no, it's this one here. Okay, so we're going to stop the pictures on, or stop screen on that. Okay, guys. Okay, we're just going to play this one from yesterday again.
The Gairloch location.
Radio chatter. Search crews and first responders mobilizing in a quest no one dreamed would take this long.
Okay. One second. Okay, so for anyone that hasn't paid attention to Dolly Vision, okay, so if this is the Derwood that spoke on Dolly Vision, then he would be, so Malaya's grandmother, this would be like, I think a second cousin or second cousin to Malaya's grandmother. So he's from Malaya's side of the family, but he knows Daniel and got to know him through work and, you know, has spoken with Daniel. And basically he's just like, you know, like basically why is Malaya not talking? Like, you know, why is nobody really talking? And this is what happens, right? The case turns in from May 2nd to June 18th. We don't see a movement on going on. Again, heard that there was supposed to be a reward coming out this week. That's not a good sign when that happens, because that means that they're stumped and they're stuck somewhere where they need the public's help to assist with information. So yeah, so that's who the person speaking on Dolly would be. Okay. I don't know if you people aren't, some of you guys aren't listening to me. I don't have a mic. Okay. How about, let's see, I'm on a tech dinosaur. Okay. Do me a favor. If I drop my Facebook link, do you have Messenger? Is it? Do you have Messenger, like Facebook Messenger, by chance? Because then I could just have you. We can just connect by calling. Do you have that? Okay, so I'll drop my Facebook link here, and if you could just add me, and then I'll add you back, and then I can just have you on through audio, through Messenger. Can do that, okay? So let me just grab my own link here. If I was my link, where would I be? 1 second. Just got to go to my own page here. Okay, again. Is your name going to be, well, I mean, I guess, is your name going to be the same name? Or is this a made up name? Okay. Okay. So that's my link to Facebook. So I'll just wait for the ad. Okay. Dolly was looking for SR with his drone. MySpace. You're so funny, Joe. I almost forgot about MySpace. Actually, one of the first messengers was called ICQ. Do you remember that one, Joe? And it meant ICQ, right? So I was there. I was there when that first freaking messenger was out there. Mm-hmm. So again, Derwood, if you see this, this is my name on Messenger, but it is made up. Okay, no problem. No problem. Don't care if it's made up. I'll just wait for the ad. So I drop my link there, and then I'll just look for an ad. Yeah, thank you, Kent. Okay. 44, you little young pup, you. On there. It's hot. Husband bought me a booster juice. But it's running out. Derwood, just let me know when you send that friend request because I don't see anything yet. Should I drop it again? Are you people, Charmaine, are you guys behind me or something? Because that's what I've been talking about for the last couple minutes. I'm just waiting for a friend request. Derwood. Derwood. Play videos and go get him hooked up. Well, I can't get him hooked up if there's no friend request yet. I need a friend request to come through. But I guess I could probably. What is his name on? I guess I could probably. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Oh, there you are. Derwood O'Grady. Okay, I'm just gonna play this video, and then I'll try. Let me see if I can find you. Okay. Do 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 do. 1 second. I'll play this.
To the house there in case they happen to.
I'll try to look for you. Derwood,
get back into the house.
A home deep in rural Nova Scotia, 140 kilometers northeast of Halifax, the last known location.
A lot of area to cover. We're out in sticks here.
Not one, but two missing children. A dog that barks at everything, a mother who left on the second day, a father who hasn't seen the kids in 3 years, and a stepfather trying to piece things together.
It's been a long 6 weeks. I know that everybody basically in the world at this point is always wanting to know like what happened.
The mystery of what happened to 6-year-old Lily Mae Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother, Jack William James Sullivan, is...
Derwood, can you do me a favor if you could, if you don't mind? Could you tell me what your avatar is on your Facebook Messenger? Can you just tell me what it is? Because I see a few Derwood O'Grady's coming up here. Maybe it's this one. Is it, Derwood, do you have glasses on in a picture? Do you have like gray hair, glasses on? Looks like you're in a vehicle. Is that you? Would that be you? Yes, really okay. That's what I thought you said. All right. Look for the really handsome guy. Okay. Okay, so. Yes. I see the pictures. Okay, so I'm going to hit add friend. Okay. Okay, so I sent you that. Okay, and then I'll hit message. So, hi, it's Sunny. Okay, I sent you a message there. Yeah, he said that the handsome guy in that picture was him. I was like, wow, the sexy chick over it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, the good thing about that is you can literally not answer them. Everyone's eager for you to talk. Come up, Derwood. Let's see here. I sent you a message on Messenger. 1 second here. Life should not be this hard. Can you see the message that I sent you that says, hi, it's Sunny? Yeah, biggest hugs for Belinda, guys. Really need to look into what phone stuff we can offer on here, because I would like to have it where it's call-ins. I can't. Kemp's like, you can do it, Derwood. Boots on the ground, you'll love it. Okay, hold on. Can you... You're making me feel like I'm at work. This is what I do all day at work is IT stuff most of the day. We'll get him. Come on, Derwood. You can do it. You can use a phone. You can use Messenger. Oh, yes. There he is. There we go. Okay, so give me a second here. Open up Messenger. Okay, so Derwood. Okay, so Derwood, I'm going to call you now, okay? All right, let's see here. Give me a second, guys. Now, let it ring. Can you hear me, Derwood? Can you hear me? Speaker high, connected speakers. Derwood, can you hear me? Okay, let me try again. Hold on a second. Okay. You guys, give me a second. I'm going to play out this video for a second. Okay. Because hit the speaker. Hit the speaker on your phone. Yeah. Wait a second. Yeah. Can you see the speaker? Because, like, right? Do you see the speaker? The little speaker? Here, try. Let's try it again. Okay. Let's try it again. Can you hear? You see where that little speaker is that says mute microphone? And then there's like right beside the red button. Do you see that, Derwood? Do you see that? Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Let me see. Let me think. I can't. Okay, give me a sec, guys. Let me. Okay, I'm just going to play this.
Is indeed gripping the country and beyond. It is Friday, May 2nd. Martell and his partner, Malaya Brooks Murray, the children's mother, are having a lazy morning with their baby. Lily and Jack are in the kitchen alone.
Malaya and the baby were asleep. Lily came in, multiple times. I was not in deep sleep by any means. And then about 20 minutes passed. And then when I woke up, Malaya was right beside me. She was still asleep. And I said, I don't hear Lily and Jack.
The time, no one will say for sure, but police say it was around 10 a.m. when they got a 911 call.
I ran up in the woods to the kids. They have cabins up in the woods, which only took me like 30 seconds. I came right back down. She was on the phone with the RCMP.
For 6 days, crews tackled an exhaustive search. The children's mother took the baby to be with her family in another part of the province. Her mother told CBC News the RCMP told them not to speak with news reporters. The RCMP says it just advised everyone to be mindful of the information they share publicly. On May 7th, police scaled back the search.
The probability of survival was taken into consideration.
But search crews returned for 2 more weekends until the end of May, searching wells, mine shafts, and septic systems, even flying a drone beneath the home.
The 4-year-old is wearing some blue dinosaur boots.
Police say they found a boot print. And listen to this in the radio chatter.
Families brought us to a location there, not far away, that there's a piece of a blanket.
Police won't say anything about a blanket, but Martell says a piece of Lily's blanket was found near the boot print. He says both children may have undiagnosed autism. For a lot of people, this story just sounds odd.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. And I see it every day online.
He's keenly aware the public suspects him, says the police did too at the start.
Of course. The stepfather was always a prime suspect right off the beginning.
So he offered to take a polygraph test.
I was extremely nervous. Especially with the first question they asked you, did you kill Lily and Jack?
That was the first question they asked you.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you find out the result of your test?
Immediately right after.
What did they say to you?
You did a good job, you passed.
Hi, Kayla. How you doing?
The RCMP's Corporal Guillaume Tremblay is not an investigating officer, but he speaks for the force in Nova Scotia.
You know, it's quite rare that in my career, I've never seen 2 missing children go at the same time.
Was anything found in any of these searches that was deemed to be of significance? Even if you can't tell me what it was, anything of significance?
So I can tell you that the investigation is ongoing and that we haven't found any evidence to show that there was an abduction of the children.
So you don't think they were abducted, but you can't find them. How do 2 young children just vanish?
That's a great question, Kayla. And we are asking for the public for tips and information.
He says the force has received close to 500 tips, some that have taken them elsewhere in the country. But the only confirmed sighting of Jack and Lily was the day before they disappeared in Nova Scotia. Martell says the children were seen on camera with the whole family. Still, police are asking for trail camera footage in the area dating back 5 days. They say they're trying to establish a timeline in the lead up to the disappearance.
So when teams are tasked, they get a bearing.
Crews have searched around 8.5 square kilometers.
Coming up through all of this stuff.
Amy Hansen has been the search manager for most of that. She's taking us into the woods to show us what her team has been dealing with.
The vast majority of it was probably from Fiona.
Downed trees from post-tropical storm Fiona 3 years ago.
This is actually fairly mild compared to some of the areas.
Over a total of 10 days, they searched for 12,000 hours.
It's pretty much unheard of in this province. It's the biggest search I've been involved in.
And she's been at this 22 years.
Do you think those kids are in the woods?
From everything I've seen, yes.
Why can't you find them?
They're small. They'd be hiding. They would have crawled underneath something probably when they got tired. They could have gone further than what we searched. There's all kinds of scenarios, unfortunately.
And that's playing heavily on the mind of this woman, Lily and Jack's paternal grandmother.
Their smiles are just beautiful.
She hadn't seen the children in nearly 2 years, a relationship left complicated after her son, their biological father, chose to stay out of their lives. She says he has been questioned by police 3 times.
A couple of days ago, they had contact and they told him that they weren't looking his way anymore, that everything was fine.
She says she joined the search herself as soon as she heard Lily and Jack were missing. She doesn't believe the children are in the woods.
There's no reason for any child to wander deep into the woods. There's just not.
The brush is just too thick.
It is way too thick. Way too thick.
Tonight is about saying a prayer.
She attended a vigil in Pictou County marking 1 month since the children went missing and says she feels the support of the community and beyond.
Well, these are everybody's grandchildren. They're not just mine now.
As she clings to cherished keepsakes.
This is Lily's handprint.
She is pleading for any information that could provide answers.
There is nothing more pure and innocent than a 6 and a 4-year-old.
Isn't that just heartbreaking, listening to Belinda and her actual genuine emotion about this? And I don't know, you guys, I didn't like Daniel's portion. There were a few things that were much different than what he had said before, what he told me. And
they deserve so much better than what they got.
She keeps her mind occupied spending time in the garden, surrounded by hummingbirds. Symbols of hope, though she admits now that so much time has passed, she doesn't have much hope the children will be found alive, and even worries the mystery of what happened to them may never be solved.
Me too, Mom.
hi, everybody. Yeah, I think, short note, did we watch that part already where he said, well, how did he say, when did you find out? Yeah, when did you find out you passed? Immediately after? And then just the look, and I know a lot of you saw it, but just the look and the side of his mouth, I took it as he was almost trying to fight that grin that was coming. I did a good job. I passed.
Okay.
That was a little off to me.
Wait a second. Hi, Charmaine.
Hi.
Okay, Charmaine.
Sunny.
Okay, so I have Derwood on the phone, and I'm just gonna, Derwood, can we just do a quick test? Can you just quickly say Derwood?
Derwood.
Can you hear that just fine?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so again, you guys, in chat, always be respectful. So Derwood is the person that has called into Dolly's show, and honestly, Derwood, I'm just gonna let you say whatever you would like to say today, right now, and then maybe we can ask you a few questions throughout it, or you can ask us anything we're thinking as well. Or so I'll just let you take the wheel. Go ahead.
Well, all right. My mind is kind of rambling right now, but let's go to the first thing. I was called a liar because I said that Daniel and Malaya had lived together for 4.5 years. And that's true, because what a lot of people don't know is that Daniel lived with Malaya at my cousin's place, who is Patty, the great-grandmother, for about a year, up to a year and a half, before they moved to Lansdowne. And then they lived in Lansdowne for about 3 years.
Okay.
So that's a lot of people don't know. Well, nobody, I suppose, would know that they lived there for over a year before they moved to Lansdowne. Before the lady gave them their trailer to live in. Now, the shit has hit the fan a little bit here today.
Because you're kicking up dirt, right?
I was visiting with the family,
Mm-hmm.
and I was asking some questions, and there was somebody there that I just sort of wanted to let them know that I knew something, because I was pretty suspicious of them. And I believe they were actually eavesdropping on me, which I counted on. So I let out a little information that should have shook things up. And then I believe the person that eavesdropped on me, I intentionally let them eavesdrop on me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe they directly called Malaya, and within a half an hour, Malaya had panicked and grabbed Meadow, and took off from Cindy's place, which is her mother's place in Wentworth.
Right.
And that's where she's been staying under 24-hour supervision by CPS. But anyway, she fought with her mother. Her mother tried to keep her there physically and couldn't keep her there. And Malaya headed, what I was told by the other family members who called me back right away, and that she had grabbed the baby and ran and headed for the reserve in Shubenacadie. Why she would head for the reserve, I don't know. And I don't know for sure if that's where the chief of the Micmac Reserve, it's his brother that's her lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
And the only thing I can think of in that, and not so, what I don't know, I'll say I don't know. What I know, I know. Now, I don't know exactly why she ran for the reserve,
Mm-hmm.
but the only connection I can think of is that her lawyer's there. Maybe she thinks she can get some kind of, I don't know, legal protection or whatever, because I think she realizes that the jig is up. And I think she realized that I knew more than I made an educated guess, and I think I was right, and it made her panic.
Right.
So she did that, and then there's, that's mainly what I want to say for now, is that I think the jig is up, and things are going to break pretty quick. Now, as far as the kids, and I said this before, and I meant it. I don't care. Things have gone too far. I don't care which family, the Mackenzies, Daniel's family. Yeah. Daniel's last name is Martell, but his family are Mackenzie boys.
Yeah.
And they're a good bunch of people. They're hardworking people. Daniel's a hard worker, and he's not. Daniel, to me, has always been a very respectful guy. I can't say a bad thing about Daniel. And as far as his heavy drug use, Daniel did have a drug problem up until about two and a half years ago, and he's been clean for over 2 years. He attends Narcotics Anonymous on a regular basis, and he's been clean for over 2 years. So this bullshit about a big meth house, and I know who that came from. The guy down the road that started that horse shit is one of the worst people in this county. So let's just say, if there was ever anybody you would not believe, that would be the guy.
Well, okay, because that one was basically the neighbor saying that they drove by the house. There was like a big party going on Wednesday or Thursday. They couldn't remember, and that's kind of what started like this whole, drug party thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, was that post? Yeah.
Exactly. That guy, and I won't say his name, of course.
That's fine. Yeah.
That guy and his brother got chased straight out of the towns here for doing a lot of really dirty stuff, for a lot of stealing, a lot of assaulting people together, and he was pretty well. That's why he's out in the country. He pretty well got chased out there. So and he's a very
yeah.
And by the way,
yeah,
I'm supporting Daniel quite a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not ruling anything out with Daniel.
Absolutely. Right. I mean,
I'm not ruling anything out with any of them other than this. Cindy, the great grandmother, knows nothing and has no responsibility or connection to this at all. Or excuse me, Patty, the great-grandmother, has no responsibility or connection to this at all, other than being very concerned.
Right.
Now, this is what I had to investigate in my family hard, because I firmly believe that my first sort of dig into this found that the arrows were pointing hard at Malaya and Daniel.
Yeah.
And it came to be that there's a lot more pointing at Malaya with the actual problem with the kids disappearing than Daniel. Daniel is confused. He thinks he knows what happened,
right?
And he knows part of it, but believe it or not, he is very desperate. He's just sick about Meadow, but I'm not saying he's totally innocent in this. But
right.
Listen, there's been no big crimes. There's been no big murders. There's been no big huge abductions. There's been no children getting sold for drugs. It's all been overworked. It's all been overblown. And what's happening here right now? And this is 99%. I'm absolutely sure. What's happening here right now is there was a young couple together. They had kids. They were stuck out in the country. Well, Malaya wasn't very happy because it's pretty damn boring out there. And a couple other things. And they were having their differences. There was I won't say which one. There was one not disciplining the kids enough, and there was another disciplining the kids a little bit, like believed in. Not to the extent of abuse, I don't believe that, but I believe, corporal punishment. Our people believe in a slap in the arse now and then.
Right.
Some people don't.
Old school ways.
That's right. So there was a difference of opinion in there. And then I believe Malaya did have some postpartum depression when Meadow came along.
Yes.
And that created some problems. And then financially, now Daniel worked that this 1 day a week thing is another bullshit. It's that mill, like I said, I got to know Daniel because my young fellow worked at the same mill with him for a couple of years up there, and that's how I got to know Daniel, because I moved since then, half a mile down the road from the mill. So when they'd come from work, they'd stop in at the house together. They got to be friends, and like I say, Daniel always acted respectfully and very decent around me and my people. There was never any problem. Now, I'm 65. Where was I going?
You know what, Derwood? I do the same thing all the time. Now, can I just ask you one thing? What date? Can we just ask what day did Daniel actually work on? This 1 day that he.
Oh, that's where we were. No, listen.
Oh,
see, it varies. He always worked 5 days a week.
Right.
Sometimes overtime. The reason the mill shuts down here is we have road closures for frost and that when the frost's coming in and out. So there's a couple of times a year in the spring and the fall we have road closures for a few weeks, so the mill closes down. Yeah. And then the odd time that mill runs out of product, so they close down once in a while. And what they do, they'll put you down to 1 day a week, because they don't want you to quit on them.
Exactly.
When they get good employees, they'll pay them that 1 day a week, because I don't know what it's like out there. But here, then, like, they work full time there. I would say anywhere from at least a bad year is half a year, like say 6 months, up to about 9 months a year.
Yeah.
And in that other time, they get paid the 1 day a week, and plus they get unemployment. So Daniel, they weren't just living on 1 day a goddamn week, which is what there's another bunch of crap.
Right.
Over and over again.
And
so
yeah. But do you know by chance, just for the sake of people wanting to know, do you know what? I know that what you're saying exactly there, Derwood, about, obviously work gets slow. They don't want to lay you off. They keep you on, but mostly you're saying he works 3/4 of the year all around. But was there a particular day that he was set to work each week? Do you know?
Yeah, usually it was the same day. I think usually it would be a Monday.
Okay.
It was a regular 1 day a week. It wasn't just called in for a day.
Right. Yeah.
It was a regular schedule deal.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I haven't listened to today's Dolly with you, Derwood. I haven't had time because I was working, and then I was like, I had to have groceries coming, etc., etc. Anyways, life got busy, and I didn't listen to today's. I listened to yesterday's, and I know that you feel, and tell me if I'm wrong here. I know that you were saying on Dolly Visions Live that you don't believe the children are in the wood. and you don't believe that
they were never in the woods.
Right. And so because Daniel spoke to, see, this is what I said, and you said the same thing, but so Daniel spoke to Charmaine, which is the co-host with me on It's a Crime, for It's a Crime and Shame. And Daniel said a lot of stuff about Malaya and some other things. And he said that Charmaine could talk about certain things and to go through it. And just remember that, like the child meadow, obviously it goes to the internet. But my problem is that this is about Jack and Lily. It's not about Daniel's love for Malaya and his little bit. Yeah.
That's why I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I really don't. It's not important to me as far as the relationship between Daniel and Malaya, I really think it was a pretty good relationship. Matter of fact, I'm sure it was. But like anything, they had their differences and they had their arguments here and there. I was married for 30 years and I had lots of them. Now, what I think happened, what I'm pretty sure happened, is Malaya. They had a few arguments, they had a bad stretch for a while.
Right.
And Malaya was complaining and bitching to some members of the family. And she lost her temper or lost her control a little bit, and she was like seriously complaining, saying she wanted out of there and stuff like this, right? And then there was some stuff she said that really wasn't true, but I think she was exaggerating her position. Now, some members of the family took that seriously. And they decided on their own. To look into it, right?
Right.
And okay. That's all I better say about that for now.
Yeah,
that's all I better say about that for now.
I get it.
All right, I'm going to tell you this. I'm really hopeful.
Yeah.
And I have some good reasons to really hope and believe that those kids are alive.
I would love to pray and think so as well. Absolutely.
Well, the reason why I can't say it's almost like I'm in a position like Daniel was stating, but slightly different. Daniel was saying he knew some stuff that he couldn't say. Well, I broke Daniel down, and he said I got it all out of him. Now, I'm not saying I agree with a lot of it, and I'm not saying it was the truth or a lie, but I cross-checked a lot of it, and it helped me find out more information.
Well, he believes that Malaya's innocent of all this, is what he told us. That's what he told. Yeah, and then he also said
Malaya made an awful mistake, is what happened, and then she made a bad mistake. There was some people involved with her. They made a bad mistake, thinking they were doing something good, and before they realized what happened, things blew up so quick. The Mounties moved in so quick with the dogs.
Right.
The searchers and everything started so quick that by the time they realized, Jesus, what did we do? It was gone too far. They couldn't back out of it.
Well, that's where I was at. I keep flip-flopping like a fish, Derwood, to be honest with you, because I'm very deep empath, and I'm, very wise to people's emotions and stuff. But Daniel has me for a loop, and Malaya and I keep flip-flopping like a fish, because one minute I'm like, okay, Daniel, and then next thing I know, I'm like, because the whole thing. Go ahead.
I was like that myself until I started learning more and more information. Like I said, I know so many people here, and there was people. Once people found out around here that I was related to them, there was people that I've known for years. There's some retired Mounties that I went to school with, and one of them still active, and they were talking to me, and there was a lot of connect. Daniel's cousin Logan, there was the mystery cousin. No, she's really his cousin, and I know her well.
Yeah,
and she was talking to me. She's like, I have a good relationship with them and my family.
Right.
And then I have a relationship with a lot of people around the community that sort of trust me. I was an evil bastard, but I was a good evil bastard. Like I want good for people. I want people to get along okay, and I want to have peace and stuff like that. So now, here's where I'm going to go with this. Finally, I am very sure. And now, if I'm wrong, I'll eat a
Yeah.
10-pound turnip or something. But
yeah.
And this, I'm narrowing it down. I'm very sure at this point that Malaya dressed the kids and took them to the roadside and put them in a vehicle. I'm about 80% sure I know who was driving the vehicle. I know who was in the vehicle.
Okay.
And I know who transported the kids. I'm very, very, very close to being 100% on that one. And when I finish finding out for sure, for absolute sure, then I'm gonna be able to find where those kids got delivered to.
Go ahead.
When I, and that's why I got to be careful about what I say. All right, I got the cops ride me pretty hard. I think somebody's got a private investigator on me because there's been a blonde-haired girl running around the community here following me and taking pictures of me when I stop at a store and shit like that. And I don't care. They can do whatever they want. I can get away from them if I want. But and then I talked to the head guy of the major crime unit here, and he was told by some of my family that I had more information that they should know. Now, you see, the thing is, I don't really know if they know 100% of what I know, and vice versa.
Right.
But they will not. What I've formatted to this guy, the head of it, his name's Jordan. I said, listen, I need. There's just I'm so close to nailing these people down that there's just. It's not serious facts. They're just small facts that will corroborate what I already know.
Right.
But they will not tell me anything. But yet they are demanding that I tell them what I know.
Right. Yeah, gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And I won't do it. And there's a lot of people on here saying, "Oh yeah, you should go to the cops. You should tell them everything." Well, I listen. I've seen a lot of incompetence in the goddamn cops around here, man.
Right.
And I don't trust them.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're workers. I'll tell you this. I think they, and this has been going on for what, 6.5 weeks. And if these guys would have done their goddamn jobs, this would have been over within a week.
You speak the truth.
And that's what's really pissing me off. The longer these kids have been out there floating around, the more chance there is of them being hurt.
Yeah,
and I hate
honestly.
that, and I won't put up with it. And the cops are threatening me with charges. Well, they can shove that because here's the way it is. Here's the way it is.
Speak it.
If I give them a name, right? And I asked the guy today. I said, "Okay, you won't tell me anything."
Mm-hmm.
He says, "No, that's the way we investigate." And I said, "Well, that's maybe part of your problem. Maybe that's why the kids aren't goddamn well in our living room right now."
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, he didn't. I was ignorant to him, and I can be ignorant, I guess, and especially when I get
You're
pissed off and
feisty.
worked up.
You're feisty.
But anyway, I said, "Okay, I give you a name. Let's, for example, I give you a name right now." And he said, "Yeah." I said, "What are you going to do?" He said, "Well, we're going to investigate." And I said, "Well, how are you going to investigate? Tell me what you're going to do." I said, "Is you're just going to go and interview the person?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "So if I give you a name of somebody I believe picked the kids up and transported them to somewhere else and gave them to somebody else, you're going to go interview them and they're going to drop a goddamn dime the minute you walk away to the people that have the kids, and then that's going to blow the whole thing because then the kids will either be moved,
right,
or they'll or whoever has them will panic and hurt them." And I put out the warning on Dolly Vision, and this is why I did it, and I'll do it here too. I'll do it. I hope the people, if those kids are alive, and that's a big if because it's been a long time, but I still believe there's a very good chance they are.
Mm-hmm.
If those kids are still alive, and if they're where I think they are, if you to the goddamn idiots that are still holding on to those kids, I want to say this: if you panic, we're zeroing in on you, and you know it. The last couple of days, they know we're zeroing in on them. And if you panic and hurt those kids, thinking that you're going to hurt them and get rid of them and not get nailed, you're wrong. Because we're already very close to having you. And if we're going to have you regardless of whether you hurt the kids or not. And if you hurt the kids, it's going to go one hell of a lot worse on you. So here's my advice to you, goddamn idiots.
Go on.
Bring those kids to the light of day. Bring them to somewhere where we can get them into safety and where they should be. Now, there's no way they're going to be going back to Malaya or Daniel, I'll tell you that, because of the CPS problems and that, and especially since Malaya bailed today. There's no, I don't believe there's any way that either Daniel's going to get those two kids back or Malaya. And I don't believe Malaya should, because she's not mentally capable.
Right. Can I ask you one thing? Was there, just to ask you if you can answer or not, was there CPS issues before this? That we've heard? I'm just asking you if you could say or not, if you know. If you don't, then
not that I know. Not that I know of. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And you know, the inside of that trailer.
Yeah.
The inside of the trailer, those kids were always kept clean. They were always well fed. The inside of the trailer was a lot neater than the outside. And one thing about the old cars not laying around was when Daniel was working one day a week, he tried to make a spare buck here and there off selling a car part and stuff like that.
Yeah, Belinda had
said
that.
That did accumulate. I mean, there's some old washers, but a lot of people in rural Nova Scotia live like that, man. It's nothing rare. So these people, there's no the kids. I believe the kids are alive about number 4, because there's no real killers amongst these people. There's no kid killers amongst these people.
Oh, right, okay.
Now, and I believe there's a very good chance, if these goddamn idiots hear me now, I really am closing in. Especially, I found a lot of information today. I had a good day today.
Did you have a good day today?
Yeah, and I'm going to go observe some people in the next couple of days and watch a few things. So I want these people to know that they're being zeroed in on. They're not going to get away with this.
You're like a true crime sleuth over there.
So come clean, or else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, I have a question.
One sec, Charmaine. It's okay. 1 second. Charmaine's trying to ask you a question here. Go ahead, Charmaine.
I just want to know if you're correct in where the kids probably are, do you believe that Malaya knows where they are and that's why she left? Or because she knows that by hiding them for this long, she's in serious trouble regardless if they're alive or not alive. This has become a huge deal. And if they're alive and just being hidden, I don't understand because.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
No. Okay. Well, answer that part of it if you could first, Charmaine.
Yes. Now this is no proof. So
no, it's just speculation.
Okay, but it's a fairly educated guess. Is all I say, because I'm not going to say something's true if I really don't know, or if I don't have some kind of foundation behind it.
Right.
Now, this may not be true.
Okay.
But every indication through everywhere is yes, Malaya knows where they're at. And her bailing today was another large indication to me, because I think she was informed very quickly that I stated a name. I inquired about a name. And I was eavesdropped on, and I dropped the name because I wanted to be eavesdropped on.
Right.
The person that was eavesdropping, I was very suspicious of being involved. And before I got back home, I got the phone call that Jesus Christ, Malaya had grabbed the baby, panicked, and took off.
So that fact? Is that fact, Derwood?
Yes, it is that Malaya grabbed the baby and took off.
Yeah.
The only part of that I can't verify.
Right, is why.
Is that she went to the reserve in Shubenacadie, although that's where she screamed that she was running.
Okay.
And my relatives all believe that that's where she headed now, unless she changed her mind.
Right.
And somebody had tried to call her to verify this, because one of the people I know called her. And when she recognized the voice, they could hear the car going, and they could hear the wind in the car. They knew she was traveling in a car.
Right.
And she immediately hung up on them and shut her phone off. So that's the total of. I know for a fact she grabbed the baby and bailed in a hurry, and I would say 80-85% sure myself that she was heading for the reserve in Shubenacadie.
Now, Derwood, if you don't mind, can I go back to something for a sec? Well, there's a couple things, but it's stuff that you kind of were talking about. But like, okay, now Daniel's interview yesterday, right? So my thing is this: I like to look and a lot of other viewers, but myself and Charmaine, we just like to look at the facts and see where the facts take us. And then, the other stuff to the side becomes side stuff. And, does it belong in there? Does it seem like it doesn't belong in there? But, regardless, whenever family speaks, that's fact, regardless if it's, truth or not, regardless, right? So that's what we like to look at. That's what we always like to put out there, just the truth and the facts of the case, and then talk about speculation. As long as, but so Daniel's interview yesterday there was quite a few things that were different than what he had told Charmaine.
I don't think a lot of Daniel's interview yesterday was accurate.
No. Well, there were some things in there for sure, but one of the things that, like, what he said, like that Daniel out of his mouth said, so there's a couple of things that, and maybe you might have the answer, maybe you don't. A lot of us keep questioning, like, okay, so if the kids went out back through this silent door, which is a strange thing to say, okay, that a silent door, two people saying that in an interview is kind of weird. Usually you don't say, even saying to Belinda, same thing was said to Belinda in messages, which makes it seem like it's contrived. But did not Janie hear the kids or see the kids, like, to give insight to the Thursday? Because I know that there's video footage from New Glasgow from Thursday, but like, is there anything that you know of by chance about anything about from Thursday to Friday? And if Janie had seen them, the children?
Yes, Janie had heard them. You're talking about Daniel's mother, Janie.
Correct, Janie. Yes. And if you can't say something, then obviously you can't.
Just let me think it over for a sec.
Sure. Because he did say that to Belinda, Daniel. He did say that she thought she might have heard them. And the dogs barked a couple times. That's what Daniel said to Belinda. So it was just a matter as if, there was a little bit more on that one. Like if Janie had actually seen or the kids, or if there was confirmation that she did hear them. That was all. That spot is very hard for people that are following the case to understand.
Well, here's my understanding on Janie. Malaya never thought that Janie was home at the time in the morning, that early in the morning.
Right.
Malaya was on the side of the road, and Janie showed up and surprised the shit out of Malaya.
She was on the side of the road?
Yep. I believe this is not fact.
Okay. Speculation.
I can't prove it.
Okay.
I believe that Janie just missed the kid transfer. I believe that Janie just missed the kids being put into a vehicle.
So, right, because again, me and Charmaine, we have more information that Daniel had said, because like I said, he did have a conversation, and it's too bad that he's more worried about Malaya than meaning
that's changing, by the way, today.
I hope so.
That's changing. She's lost his support pretty badly, because
I hope
right
so.
now he's so worried about Meadow. He believes that if CPS takes Meadow now, he's worried about Malaya committing suicide. He thinks she's that mentally worried, and I don't want to see that either.
Right, of course, nobody does.
Believe it or not, I think I like Malaya. I've always liked Malaya, but I think Malaya she's had a rough go of it with her. She's had two kids, and they broke up. They couldn't stick a family together, and I think she tried.
Yeah.
And then with Daniel, it's not been all
roses,
but
right.
I think it was pretty decent, to tell you the truth. But now with this happening, I think it blew her right out of the water. I think with some postpartum depression and just some regular family issues, some financial worries, and not going as great as because she was starting to. I think she was just sort of starting to look at her life and wishing for a little better, like we all do.
Right.
And I think this thing happened by almost fluke. and she right at the time, I think she sort of panicked. There was people formulated a plan, and I think she had never had. Pardon?
But why, like our thing is this, like Jack and Lily aren't Daniels, so why would there need to be this whole ruse of hiding the children, or what's your thoughts on that? Because I know it's just going to be.
Well, I don't think initially that the children that she intended to hide the children. I think she was worried that Daniel would be very upset if she moved the kids out of there, and I think she intended when she got those two out of there, I think she intended to take the baby and get out of there herself.
Well. Okay.
And when she moved the kids out of there, now this is all conjecture now.
Right? Yeah. No
because
problem.
I haven't even been able to talk to Malaya yet.
No.
But I believe she moved the kids out of there to thinking that she was protecting the kids and moving them to a better life. Because like I said about, well, now I pretty much slipped into something that I didn't want to say.
It's okay.
I think, there's a couple ways you can go there. Maybe she was having postpartum depression.
Right.
Maybe she was having some mental issues that she was finding she couldn't handle the pressure of raising the three of them.
Right.
Her and Daniel were probably not getting along for a little while there at a stretch.
Right.
And she was complaining about that to some family members.
Right.
And I think they took it upon themselves to help. She was saying she wanted out of there, and so they helped her take the two kids out of there. And I think initially Daniel was actually still sleeping when most of this went on. And I think she planned on being in the next vehicle out of there with the baby.
Yeah, well, that's just it. Because I've been into very abusive relationships and stuff like that. So I'm trying to relate from both sides, because Daniel did tell Belinda that actually she was in worse than a postpartum, as if a man knows, Derwood, what postpartum is like when you have children. But it is something real. It does exist for sure. And so basically, I think we can gather by Daniel saying that to Belinda is that she obviously was going through some mental health issues and some postpartum, issues going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can associate, as you're telling me.
I can too.
Yeah.
I can too. I think that some of this came out of confusion. Some of it came out of snap decisions, that weren't thought through really well. And then, but like I said, by the time it was partly done, and I think the only reason the cops got called is because I can't say that.
It's okay if you can't. Sorry, I'm just getting my charger. Go ahead.
There's been abuse allegations thrown everywhere. Okay, and
do you know if Daniel has charges of abuse? Because some people are posting that.
No.
It's the wrong Daniel Martell, isn't it?
No, I don't think Daniel was never charged with abuse. No.
Okay, thank you.
Not that I know of. No.
Okay.
I'd be very surprised.
No, there's another Daniel Martell in Nova Scotia as well that I believe is the one that people are getting mixed up with.
So anyway, am I boring the shit out of you?
No, no, trust me. Honestly, I'm a big talker myself. I talk all day at work because I have to. I'm a customer service agent.
It's exhausting me.
Is it? No.
This is all information, and it's really important to get the truth out there. So
I love these guys on this goddamn thing that everything you say is a lie. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. You're probably not even a relative at all, and all this crap. And that's fine. They don't know, but.
Yeah, so Charmaine just finished saying to you, no. We love this stuff. We do. Honestly, and please know, is this the first time you've seen our channel?
No, I've watched your channel.
Okay.
I've watched your channel a few times.
Okay.
I've watched all of them, and yours is another one. Dolly's not too bad on the clickbait. I don't really think yours is either. As a matter of fact, I don't think I saw hardly any at all on yours.
I don't do any clickbait at all. I don't do nothing.
I think I saw any. Now, Dolly does a little bit.
He does. He knows
I
it.
think it hurts viewership when they do that, because when somebody has a headline there that catches their interest, and then they read the headline, and then they spend an hour looking at the goddamn video, and none of that is ever true or even
Right.
comes out,
Yeah.
well, you're not going to go back and look at that again because it's bullshit, so you don't
Yeah.
want to see it again. So I think it's better. You know,
For subscription wise, it's better to try to be more ethical with that, because I too, just like you do, get pissed off when somebody uses, and I kind of blasted Dolly because I'm sick and tired of clickbait things. But you know, when I thought about what he was saying, I still will never do it myself. But clickbait, so clickbait causes awareness, but you can also lose subs to it because nobody likes that.
What the hell is his real name anyway? Dolly. Can't see that being his name. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Either, but
yeah.
So I'll call him Dolly, I guess.
No, I just really do my thing on this channel, and like I said, everything we do, first and foremost, will always be about the victims in this case.
All I can say to these people that do that is, what is wrong with the truth?
There's nothing wrong with the truth.
What is wrong with the truth? I think I think people in general are getting a long ways off track. Be truthful, just be real. Because I'll tell you something, half the time the people around here, if you tell them the truth, they don't believe you anyway. So
I know.
why do you lie?
Yeah, because when you're on that side of the fence, and we've been in true crime for 5 years, and like ourselves, and so for us, well, Charmaine might have been longer, but I've been doing this channel since 2020 because I got really upset with a case where I knew that the husband killed the wife, and I could tell it was on Mother's Day, and I brought up my channel because I was like, oh no one's gonna. I wanted the case to stay revived, right? So
that's another one important reason why I initially called Dolly. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, I think, and I was severely pissed off because the kids were, it was almost like the kids were being forgotten about. It was just gradually fading away. Everybody was cursing Daniel, and everybody was cursing Malaya, and it was almost like there was too many people concentrating on cursing Daniel and Malaya and forgetting about Jack and Lily.
Well,
and I that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring this back. Listen, like I said before, I don't really give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
I want, if the people that are involved in this, well, they should be in a lot of shit, because all the searchers and that they put out, the helicopters, the drones, the expenses, the satellite imagery. I mean, we got a satellite watching things down here, for Jesus' sake. And I mean, what is the cost of that crap? And all the people that took time off work, like, I mean, at one point there was 160 or 70 people out there volunteering their time and taking work off to try to find these kids. And that's just not, somebody's going to end up paying for that, I believe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No.
So that's the main shit I think somebody's going to end up in.
Well,
and
go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, I talked too much.
No. They would rather hear you than me. Trust me on this one. But I do want to say this, okay? So just know is that, and this is something I had to learn myself coming into true crime. Okay, there are your crap channels and there are your good channels. But at the end of the day, regardless if there's drama, trust me on this one, Derwood, that any coverage to a case is keeping it out there. And that's what you want. Drama is, so people love drama. So please, in your own mind.
No, I don't really give a shit about them.
Yeah.
I used to be not a very confident man, but I'm confident enough now that
I'm glad.
I don't really run on what other people say or think about me, because I believe I stand on my own 2 feet, and I don't hate myself when I look in the mirror, so I think I'm not that bad guy.
And you're kind of handsome too, right? You said.
Oh, thanks, babe. That makes my night.
But yeah.
Anyway, look. Just chill out, people, is all I can say. Keep your eyes open and your ears open, and look.
Well,
if I get a crack at those kids, to help my Jesus, I'll bleed to get them, because I love them. And
you know what?
I want those goddamn kids so bad, it's ridiculous.
I get it. You know, and what I was gonna say about that too, because like Belinda, right? I'm not. Do you actually know Belinda?
No,
No.
I know of her. I know of her.
But
no, I've never communicated with her. No,
she's
I don't.
You know what? She's just a wonderful lady, and
She seems like a nice lady. I watched a couple of her interviews there, and I can feel that she's genuinely, deeply concerned about the kids.
Absolutely.
And I like her myself, just from what I've seen. I like her, and my woman likes her too. My woman thinks she's good.
You mean you're haughty? So you're handsome and you're haughty? Is that right?
My handsome and my haughty.
Yeah,
Well,
you're handsome. No, well, your haughty's your other half. You're the handsome.
I've got the best woman on the planet. I've got a woman that saved my life, and I'm so loyal to her that I'd be her dog anytime she wants to put a leash on me. And
well,
I owe her a lot.
I was gonna say, please, like honestly, being a voice matters. It really, truly does. Being a voice to a case when family is speaking, it matters a lot. So please, I want to say this because, like I say to Belinda, just know I'm going to do this for this reason. Okay. So just know, trust me on this. But meaning what I want to say, what I want to personally say to you, and whether it was on Dolly's show or this show tonight, I really do want to say thank you, because honestly, the RCMP can suck it sometimes and whatever, right? Like there's good ones.
I don't think
Yeah, it's okay.
Listen, we just had a woman here last year, an older lady. She was 70. I believe she was 70 some years old. She had Alzheimer's bad. She jumped in her car, and she was being seen all over the goddamn community. And I mean, they had a big search for her, but yet she was still being seen all over the place. And they found her goddamn car parked with the door open. She walked right out of her car, and that was last year, and they never found her yet. Now, come on.
Right.
And I bet you I know half a dozen people. The first thing, all right, I'm pissed off now. I might as well let it fly. These goddamn cops, the money that these cops are making, huge money, huge pensions for sitting most of the time drinking coffee and doing nothing but writing out goddamn traffic tickets. And the first thing they goddamn well do when they got to go find something or look at something or get dirty is put a goddamn ad in the paper that they want the public's help to solve this case. What in the G's are they there for if we got to solve every goddamn thing for them? Just like this. These goddamn idiots had 6.5 weeks to find those kids.
Yeah.
And I'm just an idiot from nowhere who's got nothing to work with or anything else. And I believe I'm finding out a lot more than they goddamn well know. And it makes me...
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit if don't worry, I've expressed my opinion to the bastards, and they can do whatever they want because I just don't care anymore. I'm so sick of them. I'm telling you. Telling you.
I love feisty. I love feisty.
Oh, I might be past feisty into half insane. I don't know.
But you know what I do. I was gonna say, I mean, I totally understand your frustrations for sure from this side of it. I mean, the RCMP is tight-lipped, but one day they're gonna realize that the internet is a force to be reckoned with. Because honestly, they keep saying, "I'm holding it close to the vest. I'm holding it close to the vest." Blah blah blah. You know, but what's going on? It's been 6 weeks, 7 weeks almost now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Yeah.
And crickets.
Yeah. And my suggestion was 2 weeks ago, open everything up to the public now. You stunned bastards. You're not getting anywhere. You're not fixing anything. And meanwhile, the kids are floating around like a bobber in a goddamn lost lake. And we're not getting any results. So what would it hurt for you to open up all the information you have? And then there's a whole, there's thousands of people down here want these kids found.
Absolutely.
There's people searching for these goddamn kids.
Mm-hmm.
And if they open it up, if those kids are still alive, and they're going to be seen, they're going to, if the whole outfit knows something about, because if the Mounties put out the information they know, I'm goddamn sure there's some community members that can piece something together just with what they know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something they saw last week or some little thing that clicks into their mind, just like they did when they visited my place. That never clicked into my mind till a week later what was going on.
Did they actually come and talk to you at all, or
yes.
no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah, all of them did. Well, who do you mean? Cops, Daniel, the rest of them? Daniel's the guy used to buy. I found out the guy Daniel used to buy his drugs off of because he was suspected. And
Right.
That was, a few years ago and that. And then there was some other... Oh, yeah. No, I was at them.
I know.
And,
It's just, I know it's so hard because
Don't worry. I got a few threats landing in these goddamn goddamn idiots.
Yeah.
And that tells me that I might just be getting a little close.
Yeah, I know, because trust me. You know, people just know that people will send threats for sure. They'll, you know, it's part of it. And now I will say that no one could shut me up if this was my children. Like if this was my child missing, or children in this case, Jack and Lily, you wouldn't shut me up. You would. I would not.
You go. There you go. The excuse from I was mad at Cindy.
Yeah.
And I was pissed off at Malaya because they weren't screaming for these goddamn kids.
Right.
And their excuse back to me was, oh, the Mounties ordered them not to. Well,
which is a lie.
My response to that was, fuck the Mounties. You know, it's your kids. Well, who do you care? What do you care more about? And that made me very curious. That made me really.
Yeah.
Like Malaya, what in the Jesus are you
doing? Well, the thing was, right, okay, so like so when Belinda accepted my friend's request a week later, it was because I was constantly checking on her Facebook just to see if anyone was really posting about Lily and Jack from the family side. And I kept hearting it, and I'd say a few words because I just totally felt horrible for this case. And so then a week later, she accepted me, and she had said to me that she felt like I was the right person to talk to. So I absolutely just loved it that she saw genuineness in this channel and the personality and stuff like that. And so Derwood, where was I going with that?
I think you were going to apply for a job as a dispatcher for the Mounties who coordinated their goddamn information for them, because that's probably what you should be doing.
Oh.
You can get information from all kinds of directions, and you seem to be good at sticking it together and coordinating it. So I sort of like that, and I appreciate that, because
I know where I was going.
And all the people, I don't know how many goddamn people's watching this now, and I don't really give a shit, but all of them. Please, people, please stop with the bullshit guessing. Stop with a lot of that crap. Just keep your eyes and your ears open. You don't learn anything by shooting your mouth off. You only learn when you listen. So everybody in the community, listen to what everybody's saying. And okay, I'm going to say one more thing. I'm going to point a direction out pretty hard here. Okay.
Okay, hardball.
Could be wrong.
Good.
Could be wrong.
Speculation.
How about you people down around Tatamagouche keeping your goddamn eyes and ears open for me?
About where? Where? In where?
Tatamagouche.
Oh,
He gave me his name 2 years ago because they were shooting arrows up in the air. One of them hit a goose, and they got in an argument over it. And he said, "That's my goose."
Oh, that's my goose. Wait, I have to go back to what I was talking about, because I remember I found my road. I found my path back, okay? So what I was going to say, what really pisses me off, and this is, again, I'm a mother, right? For children for me are the most precious gifts ever. So it really does hurt my heart. Any of these cases that we do follow, it's because somehow they resonated. But regardless, children are innocent. But what pissed me off is that here we have Malaya, the mother, who doesn't even use her Facebook social media to post anything anymore about Jack and Lily. There's crickets, nothing. And so it's like, you are the mother. Why is it that people that don't even know you or your kids care more about talking about your kids than you do? And so my thing is that you got social media, and yet you log in, add a few friends, you take all Daniel's pictures down, but you have time to do that while your two kids are missing. So tell me that that's not weird, in a sense, that someone does that. And I know Daniel has said that Cindy arrived a few minutes after the police arrived there and stuff like that. And I already know that he thinks that how Daniel said it was that he believes that Cindy's mother's a monster, basically, and is holding Malaya hostage. And Malaya's basically been mind warped, in a sense, and innocent of all this, in the loosest way I'm saying that. But that's what he was saying, okay? But regardless, that's literally verbatim on his messages. But right.
I know that.
And that's why I said, like, Daniel, you need to get a bib and drool because honestly, this is about Jack and Lily. Who gives two shits about Malaya at this moment? This is about Jack and Lily always 1000%. So I, as a mother, and I know that you feel this way too, and that's why you're speaking out because you're frustrated, but as mothers, as parents, for us to watch people hide and then try to use the RCMP as the reason why they can't talk, which we already know is bullshit. We already know that, right? But these are your children. These are your children. And right. So why
they're
is
they're the only pure form of humanity.
you know? So I mean, that's why everyone like, so yes, Daniel gets side-eye because of course you don't know. It's like you're watching somebody and you're not sure if he's being truthful. You actually, to be honest with you, this case, and as you well know, there's a lot of inconsistencies in the timeline that we know of. You probably have more out of Daniel, of course, if you talk to him. We have the bit of information when Daniel was talking to Charmaine, but it gives you more insight into the day. But it's still there's stuff missing. There's a picture, and you obviously feel that the kids, this went totally wrong. It was never supposed to be this big. Went totally wrong, and now it's kind of basically when you're hooped, and you're basically just going to keep the lie up type of idea. Is that kind of the gist of what you think's going on? You said. That Malaya did do something she knows, and that these kids are hidden, and you believe that they're alive, I believe is what you, at least you're really hoping that they are.
Oh, that you're saying it, and maybe I'm hoping so hard that I'm trying to believe it.
Same.
But I believe it because of some facts too, and I don't want Malaya is
spit it out.
Malaya in her natural personality is a very malleable person. She's probably fairly easy led if somebody wanted to manipulate her or stuff like that. And I think she's been, I don't know, to say it in my way.
I know what you're saying.
If everybody can just give her a little bit of slack, because I think she could use a little bit of slack, and I'm not saying she shouldn't be straightened out. And I'll be the first one. I'm straightening her out. To tell you the truth, what I'm saying on here, I don't think Malaya would be very pleased about it, but I can't help it.
Jack and Lily.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly. I believe the girl dressed them and loaded them out into a vehicle.
Right. Now,
and mistake or not, they went down the road. I'm sure of that. And there's no, if there was abuse, I think Malaya could have handled it a lot better. I mean, they were her kids. Why didn't she just grow? I mean, she can't grow a set of balls. But anyway,
stop taking my terms.
I wish she would have been just a little braver and just took the kids and left.
Right. If that's how it went down.
If she'd have done that and come to our family, come to us, we protect her from anything that
I know.
might come down the road.
I know.
And I don't think she thought that she had anybody that would help her or protect her or stand up for her. And that's another reason I think she acted in very bad judgment.
Well, what do you think of her? Can I ask you, Derwood? What did you think of her interview? Because I thought it was one of the worst interviews that I've ever seen.
She was scared shitless.
Is that how you? Yeah. So just your interpretation yourself. You feel like she was scared shitless?
Very, very. There it is, right there. That's the whole, to me, summed up. Scared shitless.
Yeah, because she was totally.
She was almost frozen in panic.
Yeah.
And insecurity, like the insecurity's been coming along for a long time. Like I said, she's not an aggressive person in that way. Like personality wise, she's very, very soft spoken, sort of quiet. Like
that's what Belinda said. Yeah.
And there was just too much going on around her, and just too much going on.
Yeah.
And she was scared. She knew she at that point, I'm sure she knew she made up a lie, and then she couldn't back out of it. She was just too scared to stand up and tell the truth at that time. I really believe that.
Yeah. Jared, do you mind quickly if Charmaine just asks you a question? Would you mind?
No, I guess I'm past minding now. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's not really a question. It's just more of a kind of make sure that I understand everything in a nutshell for chat. So can you confirm this is what you believe, that Malaya had planned, I guess, to get the kids out of there so to make it easier for her to leave with Meadow that morning? And so she took the kids to the end of the driveway and handed them off, not to get the kids away from Daniel, but just to make it easier for her to leave that situation. Is that kind of, in a nutshell, what you're thinking? And then the RCMP response was so quick, I think, because of the missing kayaker or whatever, and they had the RCMP and the dogs and the drones and everything there a lot quicker, and everything just kind of went so quick and blew up so fast that she panicked and was scared to get in trouble, so she didn't speak up and say, I have the kids, they're not missing.
Exactly. No, exactly. And I think if you see what I mentioned before, now this is partly theory, this little wee part of it, and you've got everything right down pat as far as I'm concerned about that situation. You're right on the money. There's one little thing that I already said to that I made. I don't think you missed it because I probably talked too fast or something. But the one thing that surprised her, that buggered up her plan, and this is only conjecture,
Jamie.
but it's pretty tight. She didn't know that Janie was home. She never thought Janie was home. So I think her plan was, when those kids went down the road, I think Daniel was sleeping. I think she was going to go back in, take the baby, and bail. But you see, Janie was home and got awakened and came out to the side of the road. And that's when you've heard Daniel say that she was kind of stunned on the side of the road and looking guilty when he came out, because Janie was already there, and that she was looking guilty and that she was playing with her phone.
Yeah.
So I think like Janie sort of caught her unintentionally and didn't know she caught her. Like, she wondered what she was doing out the side of the road that early.
Right.
And from what I understand the conversation, Janie never had much. Janie looked at Malaya and said, "What did you do?" And Malaya just stood there stunned.
Oh, okay.
Now that's what I heard. And then, now this part of this I can't prove because I wasn't there.
Right.
But that's what that's what I think occurred. But everything else you just said is right on the button.
Now, just to ask you, is she retired? Do you know, or does she work?
I think she is. My woman that I'm with now worked with her at the home as a caretaker, like, for one of the homes there for years. And from what I understand, Janie's a hell of a nice person. I know. I think I met, like I said, I knew so many people around here when I was back home and excavating and that. And I'm sure I met her probably half a dozen times, but I just can't place her. Like I'm sure I know her. And one thing, I don't want to talk to Belinda because I don't want to give her any false hope.
Right.
And I don't, but my God, one thing I would love for her and for all of us, tell her there's some people that really want those kids back. She's not alone. We want those, and to have a little bit of hope, because I know she's losing hope. From her interviews and that, she was pretty sure the kids are gone.
Right.
Well, it would be a good Christmas day if we walked back up the main street with those kids, wouldn't it?
Well, yes, absolutely. Honestly, again, it just, I'm not family, but it just tears my heart apart. Just anything to do with the missing of children. They're so innocent, and to see little Lily's and Jack's face, and even that 3-year-old girl, thank God she was found alive,
Yeah. Here we got one. Here, I'm going to get pissed off at this person. Sandra Chisholm. I just looked over at the comments. This dink. She's got to be a dink. That's ridiculous that Malaya orchestrated this. Daniel never said she was on the side of the road. Daniel says now that Malaya was asleep and he noticed that the kids were gone. What crap. Well, listen, baby, I'm going to tell you one goddamn fact. One of the people that told me about Janie and told me about Malaya on the side of the road was Daniel himself. face to face. And then there was a couple other people I got the same idea on. So there's another person there saying, what crap? They don't know what they're talking. There's another person.
Well, yeah, you're all.
I wonder if that woman knows shit from applesauce. You're not supposed to be rude, but I'm going to be rude. So that's the kind of thing. If you know something, say it. If you don't, shut your pie hole.
I think,
I'm not laughing. I'm pissed off now. Like, people like that really piss
well,
me
I
off.
was gonna say, so again, in the true crime world, you know, you're gonna honestly, you get a thick skin. So regardless, no matter what, there's gonna be 1,000 people, a couple thousand that are gonna say things that you're not gonna like, right? So honestly, it's
Well,
honestly.
I hope what I said to her, I hope she dislikes that as much as I dislike what she goddamn well said.
Oh, well,
so I'll make her a deal if she'll pull back her goddamn low, slow, or play a little, but I'll throw mine and apologize to her. But until then, if you don't know, shut up.
Because so comments, trust me, they're something that probably you should avoid looking at too much, because you know what, at the end of the day, again, it's about Jack and Lily, right? Malaya, exactly. If Malaya or Daniel had any part of this, you know, they'll reap what they sow if they're lying and if they have anything. At the end of the day, we just want to keep the awareness out there about Jack and Lily, for sure. Absolutely. You know, and just hopefully.
I see some of the people on there finding me amusing, and I hope they do. I hope they have a laugh. And I'm serious about this now. I'm not kidding. I hope they do have a laugh, because I am kind of an idiot at times. And I hope they do have a laugh. And remember the laugh, and remember Jack and Lily. Let's keep our eyes and ears open, folks. So Jesus Christ, let's try to bring these kids. Let's try to find these kids. And I'm not going to say too much more, because over the next couple of days, I'm going to be doing a little traveling, because there's a couple people I have to watch.
Well, I was going to say, you know, because I don't want to take up any more of your time, even though I know there could be, there's definitely could be more, but it's late there. Okay. It's definitely.
What time is it?
You know what? It's not your bedtime. I'll tell you that much right now. It's not.
Oh, Jesus. Time flies fast and having fun, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I love your spirit. I do. You're feisty. You're like me. You're feisty. And you say a lot of the same words I say, like pie hole and stuff like that. But anyways, so that's what everyone appreciates, a good feisty person. So trust me when I say this, you know, again, you know, people are going to say and do and make thumbnails or do whatever. They're going to do that regardless. No matter what you say, it's going to happen. But the thing is that the purpose is, like, you know, Derwood, is, and by the way, Dolly's name is Jimmy, apparently.
No, I hope I don't offend you. But on that line of questioning, but people are going to say what they're going to say and do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
How are these people stupid enough to vote Liberal? That's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. So Derwood, quickly, I know that's not your real name, like you said, but anyways, so you have me on Messenger. Again, if there's ever a time that you say, hey, Sonny, can I come up? I got some shit to say. Just feel free to message me when we're doing a live. If there is anything you want to talk about, for sure. Because again, it's family that keeps this going, because trust me, the news drops off, channels drop off. And so the thing that keeps it going is people like yourself and like Belinda, you know, and however somebody feels about Daniel, keeping the awareness out there. Family is very important when they're speaking. So I applaud you for going, you know what?
No, don't applaud me. I'm just doing what I figure I have to do.
Well,
and I'd be guilty.
exactly.
I feel guilty if I don't do it.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I've asked Jesus Christ a lot of times if I should just stay in this, because but I don't see anybody else in it.
Well, you know what? All I know is, like myself and like others, right, is that you know you're doing the right thing. And so there's no question that's wrong about that. You're fighting for Jack and Lily and the answers, and there's absolutely nothing wrong. So when I say I applaud, no, I respect people that you know what, a lot of people are passive and a lot of people are pussies and stuff like that, and they don't want to come forward and whatever, and that's their choice. But then there's people like us who have voices that come forward and speak our truth in a sense. So just keep it real, and if you want to come back on and talk, just message me on Messenger again. But it's been a very much of a pleasure that you joined us tonight. Okay, so thank you so much for that.
Good to meet you.
You too.
I'll go take some time to calm down.
Oh, no.
All right, see you later.
Go have some applesauce, Derwood.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Well, that was very nice of him.
That was incredible.
Yeah. I'm sorry for you guys if I couldn't really look at chat too much.
I've been trying to keep up.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Charmaine, if I couldn't but I was really for the most part, just trying to let him talk,
Absolutely no. And the whole point is to let family, whoever they are, speak because that's the only way we're going to get more information, by letting these people talk and vent and say their thoughts and bring their theories out, because it's better than a bunch of blind shooting, right? Like, we're just fucking throwing blanks everywhere. Sonny and I are like fish out of water, flip-flopping every night. So, the only time that we have any solid information is when Belinda or even Daniel or whatever, the Logan and the other cousin on the other side, or the aunt or whatever, and Derwood, when these people speak, now we have things to talk about. Now we have information, not just the shit that we come up with as a collective, right?
You're right.
I think it's great.
Whoops. Oh, oops, sorry, I hit my mic there. So absolutely. What was I going to say? I was going to say something really, deep and whatever. Oh, Sandra. I hope Sandra, she got her big panties on, and if you, one of those things, right? If you're gonna say stuff and family's on the phone, and then someone comes back at you, type of thing, you can't get upset about that, okay? Because if you're talking about family members and then the family member sees a comment on that, so as long as you got your big girl panties on, you should be good. All right.
She said, I'm done with this channel, so we all bid her a fond farewell.
Oh, see you, Sandra. Eddie. What do you? No, please stay. No, that's okay. It's all. We're not here to beg people, right? This is about Jack and Lily, not about people throwing temper tantrums and stuff like that. At the end of the day, so I don't care. But no, you know what I love? I just love straightforwardness and truthologists. Speak your truth. None of this, I know there's stuff that he couldn't say, and you can tell he's getting very frustrated. And is that such a bad thing? Absolutely not. No,
not at all. Joe just kills me. He's got the, I don't know, his sense of humor is a lot like mine, but I'm not saying this stuff.
Right. He's saying it for you, and then you're just smirking and laughing.
And I'm just trying not to laugh because it's not funny, Joe.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. And again, thank you so much, Derwood. I wonder what his real name is. Derwood. I don't know why. Is that a cartoon or something, or like one of those Ren and Stimpy shows, or Derwood? But anyways, I feel like it's from a show or something, that name. But
somebody said that his voice reminded them of an angry Winnie the Pooh.
Angry Winnie the Pooh.
Like a really worked up angry Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. Well, you guys, and again, I'll say this because like I remember some people were kind of like saying stuff on Dolly about, well, like, why did he even come up if he's not going to say something? He said a lot. And I'll remind people again, is that the best information is always from either Ellie or the family. Whether or not you believe it's truth or not doesn't matter. It's still coming from the family, and it's more information that you would have had that you wouldn't have had at all. So appreciate the fact of Belinda, appreciate Daniel's conversations, and we all know Daniel's having other conversations. Okay, we've already seen them, or partials of them anyway. But Charmaine's, and again, when I heard Derwood talking on Dolly, I was just I just absorbed the information, right? Because there's little tidbits in there that we already, or that we say, little nuggets in there that you don't know, but obviously, like this channel's been covering the story, and just due to the fact of people like Belinda and Daniel and now Derwood that speak up, it makes a huge difference in a case, and that's what we want. So don't be scaring anybody off. All right.
And he did say, and I can't have a direct quote or anything, but he did explain that there are certain things he can't say, and he's not going to drop a name to the RCMP because then they're going to run there and then tip somebody off, and then that could put the kids in jeopardy, in his opinion. So if he's not comfortable, same as me, like there were things and still are things in that conversation I had with Daniel that I am not comfortable putting out for my own reasons. It has no benefit to Jack and Lily. It will not help or hurt the investigation, or it will not help find the kids, and I don't want to put it out there. And Derwood obviously feels the same.
Charmaine, I need to go give the toilet a drink very badly. Can you take the wheel? Can you talk to them, and I'll be right back. Thank you. Yes. And you guys, again, if you guys have not hit that thumbs up, or the share button, please do it again. Never for the channel, but for Jack and Lily or anyone in the missing and the murdered. Appreciate that. Again, it's for the family, right? We're just a channel that's trying to cover it, but you guys are the ones that make a difference on spreading that awareness really fast. It's truly because of viewers, though, that really can go with something, right? Meaning a channel can put the information out there, but it's you guys that make it, go across Twitter, go across, all the different platforms out there. So just want to say thank you guys for that part. Oh, Travis is in the house. Hi, Travis. What are you doing here? Hey, Travis. Hey, girl. Hey. So we joke around. Travis is a lawyer out of Texas, following the Delphi case and stuff like that. Anyways, Travis, I'm going to go give the toilet a drink. Be right back.
So, and I'm also wondering something that he said. Well, the whole thing that he was talking about was Malaya leaving today or yesterday with the baby with Meadow. That could be a problem for her with CPS. I'm not 100% sure what kind of, if she was under restriction or anything like that, to have Meadow at Cindy's house. But that could very well be. But if she left that place, that could not end well for her. And I would like to say, because who knows if Malaya watches these or if she hears these things. But I like to think that because a lot of the families are, that some of the stuff will get back to her. And if that is the case, if the kids are being hidden and now this thing has blown up way beyond what you ever thought it would, and now you're just at a point you think of no return and you can't rewind and you can't make things right, you're wrong, everything gets better. And when you're 26, 27, 28 and you make mistakes, you think the world is ending and you think that you can never get past something, but you will. Every single day, even if you don't want it to, the sun comes up. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but it's true. There's nothing that a human person cannot get past. You just have to do the right thing for yourself and for the people around you. So my message to you, if this is what is going on, then just make it right. Just call the police. Tell them what's happened. No matter what is happening with the kids or happened with the kids, if they were taken to be hidden so that you could leave, whatever, just call the police and make it right. It's never too late to do the right thing. And everything gets better. Once the weight is lifted, and you can see clearly again, everything gets better. I promise you. I promise you. Anyways, it's enough of that. I'm not even going to read Joe's comment there because no.
Were you again?
Joe, well, he's just always making jokes and stuff. I'm totally invested in these missing children cases. No reason for it. Don't blame law enforcement. Blame the abusers. My apologies, Joe. My apologies. I agree. See what happens?
I don't apologize to Joe, but I thank Mr. M. Johnson for subscribing. I'm hot. Hold on.
So much respect for what, native girl? That's nice. And let me see. So yeah, and I think that if Derwin really has a good idea where the kids or who could be keeping them or who took them, and Malaya is onto the fact that Derwin would know, I think this is the most critical time. And if Derwin is still listening, I wish I could have said something then, but if this all came about in the last like 24 hours and Malaya really does think that the jig is up and Daniel is really worried about her mental health and her stability, then I think now is the time to act on what you know or what you're trying to find out. I think that the sooner the better. Because if you think about it in that light, if she's being pressured that much and now she's that stressed out that she's going to take off with Meadow, even though CPS told her not to, that's risking her custody of Meadow. And that's a serious step that she's taking. And I think that the sooner somebody acts, the better it will be for Malaya and possibly for Jack and Lily as well. Honestly. You know what I mean?
The best case scenario really here is, I mean, you know, like, I know that you weren't so much along this line, but the best case scenario here is that the children were taken and hidden and it's something morphed into bigger than what it was ever meant to be. I mean, I'm just going to hold out hope regardless, and that will be the best case scenario. So I really hope it ends up being in that line. Like, it would be nice for Belinda, for any other family members that are just wanting to know answers, you know. So I pray something like that actually happened. But at the end of the day, right, it's one of those things. We just look at the facts, and you know, it's look at Daniel, look at Malaya, because you know what, you guys that are in here, what did you guys think when that lady yesterday, in that interview with Danielle and Belinda, the one where she said that everything's leading her to believe that they are in the woods? Like, do you take that as regardless that she feels like they're in the woods because something, like they were put there? Or do you, like, because when she said that at first, I was like, give me a break, lady. Like, they're not in the woods unless, of course, they were put there. What do you guys think about that? I think it's during this one here actually that she says
she's not. Yeah, but she's not. We have to remember that she's not RCMP. She's not involved in the actual investigation. She's a search and rescue lead, so she's not privy to the investigation. So they're directed to go and search those woods. So they have to believe that what they're searching for is out there, and that's, to me, that's the end of that story. Like, of course she believes they're there and they could have missed them because that's her job to believe that.
Yeah, but I'm still going to give her credit where credit, like, meaning she got like 20 something years experience, right?
Absolutely. But she's not going to go out there and say, yeah, we're searching, but I seriously doubt they're out there. No, of course, it's her job to believe that what they're searching for is going to be found where they're searching. That's her job, is all I'm saying. She's not privy to the investigation.
She's not privy to the investigation, no, but you know, it's one of those things too, right? Come on now. We all know that small communities, you know, kind of like Delphi, and that you know that they're talking more so than what, like, I think I don't know, in bigger places, bigger cities and stuff like that, maybe not so much. But when people around there are more like family, because they all know each other, you know, chances are there's more information that they do know of than what we, because you know how it is. I mean, bottom line is, regardless if it's the searcher, regardless if it's the RCMP, they're going to give the same answers, really. I mean, honestly, they're not going to, they just always really, truly are just going to give you what I call just standard answers. Nothing that's going to give you any which way. Besides, we're holding it close to the vest. It's an investigation that's ongoing. We're not allowed to talk about it. You know, I don't know. Let's, you know what? Let's see here. I'm going to go soon because I do have to work at 6 a.m. in the morning. I think Lauren was in here. I think I know Mr. E's in here. Hey.
Yeah, Lauren's in here and Mr. E has been here for a little bit.
Valerie's in the house as well. Hi, Heather. Dogs Karma Dogs and that. So yeah, so appreciate everyone that comes and joins us. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's really the reason I'm here. Not because I love being in true crime. It's simply that we can impact families and be unselfish and just cover things and bring awareness to the cases and talk about them and stuff like that. But, you know, other than that, we all know that true crime is very hard on the heart. It's very draining. But it's stuff like what happened with Claire, you know, that really, knowing that she's alive and that she wasn't, you know, found deceased and stuff like that. You know, it's something that we can make a difference. And for all the people that are in true crime, right, like I said, just a simple like, a simple share is all it takes for, you know, people to do that, right? To keep it going. Because if you're going to come into a channel and watch it, you know, and you're watching it for information, but the information is really, like, for instance, in Jack and Lily's case, it's not about me. This isn't like I'm covering the case because of course, children are close to my heart, and this case, you know, is special, like my other cases that I cover as well, and stuff like that. But it's the difference that you make for these family members that are watching, that it truly makes the difference for, because they're the ones that are living this nightmare each and every day. So just your little finger on that like button makes a huge difference. Yeah, other than that, I mean, did you kind of answer people in chat there while I was giving the toilet a drink?
I was just scrolling really quickly. I don't know if there's anything anybody had, you know, wanted me to answer or you to answer. I was trying to read everything, but then
yeah, I know. Well, at the end of the day, it was an unexpected pleasure having Derwood come on. And, you know, like, he's been on Dolly a couple times. And, you know, I think it's good for him that he went on Dolly because, again, you know, Dolly's out of the United States. We're out of Canada. Obviously, you know, families. And like I was saying, trying to say to Derwood, and like I said to Belinda, is that, you know, there's good coverage and there's people that really go cross the lines of what's ethical, but that's up to them what they want to do. At the end of the day, still, drama causes people to click on things and be aware of cases and stuff like that. And it might not meet my moral standards, but it's still not my channel, it's theirs. And as long as we hold ethically to what we do here, that's all we can worry about, really. But for the family members, it's just, again, I go about my day, go to work, come do a live. I'm not impacted by somebody missing or somebody that's been murdered. Wait, knock on wood. Okay, my older sister, Satan, I promise. I still won't go to your funeral. Just saying. Okay. But yeah. So I don't know. I'm just tired now, to be honest with you. Derwood at the end there, like, he was getting tired. He's like, oh, it's because he's getting all passionate and feisty, yeah. You know,
he had a lot to say. And you can actually hear the frustration. And I don't think a lot of his frustration is with the RCMP, though he does have frustration with the RCMP. I think a lot of his frustration is with his family. Like, why aren't they speaking? Why aren't they doing what he's doing? And why haven't they been doing what he's doing now? And it's like he's trying to make up for lost time over the past 2 days. You know what I mean? And they talk fast. Like, I don't know about Kent and Heather and everybody else and Valerie and everybody else from the East Coast, but all the East Coasters that I know, and I know a lot of them, they all talk like that. All of them. They throw the best kitchen parties ever. but they all talk like that. And if you're not listening, you're going to miss every second word.
Good night, Mystery. Say hello to the family, the fam dang over there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, me and you are very direct people. You know, we like forwardness and candidness. I always appreciate that, you know. And again, you can see when, you know, people are building up because they're frustrated. I mean, he's from Malaya's side, right? We're not hearing crickets from that side. We're hearing a little bit of people, you know, saying that Daniel was missing for 3 hours and stuff like that, you know, claiming that they know his polygraph test and stuff. But as for, like I said, Malaya, like I said, when you have 2 kids and you don't see the mother fighting, you know, for the children, and you're hiding behind saying that the police said not to do interviews and stuff like that, you know, get off the crock pot and stop taking it, you know, type of thing. Because at the end of the day, you have social media, you got your Facebooks to use, all these things, all these tools. So when they're not being used, if suspicion comes your way, then don't be so shocked, because it's not what normal people do when somebody goes missing typically. Yeah. The only thing I was going to ask you, nah, I'm tired now, guys. I'm tired. Are you tired, Shemaine?
I'm always tired. I'm perpetually tired. That's just who I am as a person now. Yeah.
Can I tell you? It's not often, but I was a little bit cranky when I got woken up that I had to go get groceries, because my husband woke me up going, honey, I'm not home yet, and you need to go down and get the groceries because Murray's going to be there in a minute. And I'm like, I just want to sleep just for, you know, I just wanted to sleep for like an hour, just 1 hour. I was like, eh. But anyways, tomorrow's Thursday. So tomorrow I just got my last day, and then I got my 2 days off. So yahoo.
Tomorrow's your Friday. Good.
Yeah, tomorrow's my Friday. I work 6 to 2 tomorrow on there. Isn't it funny though? You can be so drained, but the minute you know it's your couple days off, all of a sudden this revival comes along, and you're just like, oh, got all this energy all of a sudden, you know. Whereas, like knowing I work tomorrow, in a sense, it's kind of like, oh, one more day. Don't get me wrong, man. I love my job, but it's just I've been pushing it with a lot of lives, and then getting up early. And then when I'm not doing lives, I'm usually looking at either emails or something else, what's going on and stuff like that, you know. And so, yeah. So I probably should balance myself sometimes a little bit better, you know, because I took a month off there, Charmaine. I just needed to rest.
Yeah, that was a long one, but yeah.
That was the longest one, actually.
I think everybody needs to take time for themselves, no matter what it looks like to everybody else. You got to do what's best for you.
Yeah. So, you guys, I will do a live tomorrow because it's my Friday. But anyways, we'll do a live tomorrow. Thank you guys for everyone watching today. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Kent. Thank you, everyone, for sends emails in that sends links and stuff like that. Totally appreciate it. Again, want the most, just get those likes and the shares out there. Do it for the sake of Jack and Lily on this particular case as well. And other than that, thank you to Derwood for joining us tonight. Thank you to Charmaine. And hey, Valerie, I see an email from you. I'll look at that in just a second. Anyways, you guys have a blessed night. We're out of here. Prayers for Jack and Lily. Hold on. There we go. At least let's show it. Okay. And big hugs and thank you always to Belinda for always being there to give information as best she could. And just her interviews, just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. So to Belinda. And night, you guys. Okay. Oh, sorry, you guys. Chris Dawson, thank you for the super sticker. Heather Jenkins, thank you for becoming a member. And same with Chris Dawson again. Thank you guys for becoming a member. Yeah. And other than that, now we're out of here. Ready? Are you ready, Shereen? Ready?
I'm ready. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. I felt like that was the Waltons. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Jen.
We are not alone. Within my reverie, there's holy light. Without a number, I know